I was a kid, there was no professional women's cricket. I didn't even think that women could be professional sports people.
Especially early on, it just didn't really seem like there was a career in it.
To support myself around cricket, I had to work at the petrol garage.
I was the only girl, so I stood out.
I'd love for young girls to be able to dream about being an athlete and it to be achievable.
Thanks to the Hilton funding my contract, it's allowed me to play the game that I love all day, every day.
We're like an engine and we need to be fuelled with the right gas.
Without funding, we can't be visible. You can't be what you can't see.
As a team, it feels like we're breaking boundaries.
Thunder and Lancashire always want to put women's cricket at the forefront, and now I think that's really shining through.
It's mad to think that without the Hilton funding, like, we wouldn't be playing cricket every day, training.
Well, we could be, but we wouldn't have any money.
We wouldn't, yeah, true.
Good morning from Emirates Old Trafford ahead of today's T20 double-header day out in Bengaluru, where the Lancashire women are playing a Karnataka Cricket Association 11 in 2 games, one starting in around about 10 minutes time. Myself, Graham Hardcastle, joined by Polly Starkey and Alison Byrne a little bit later on, and we've got the team news and well, we've got the toss first, and then we'll give you the team news from Bengaluru. So Ellie Threlkeld is waiting with the home captain for the toss. So we'll go out to Bengaluru now.
Heads. Head is the call. Heads it is. Heads it is. We'll have a bowl, please. Yeah. Okay. Cheers. Go well. Have a good day. All the best. Okay, ma. All the best. Go well, mate. 8:55 walking. 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock? 9 o'clock. First ball. Yep. Cool.
Oh, Skip, how did we get on there?
Yeah, we won the toss. Gonna have a bowl.
That's 2 for 2 now, winning the toss. That's really good news.
Yeah. Better than last year, isn't it? Yeah. Tough time with that last year. So
obviously on to winning ways. What are we looking forward to the most today?
I think for us as a group, like, we did quite a few things well last game, but there's also so much we can improve on. So I think today's a really good chance to do that. So yeah, really looking forward to it.
And we talked to you yesterday a little bit, but for those that are watching this live at EOT, what's been the best thing so far about the trip out in India for you?
I think for us, it's just given us that chance to sort of play outside this time of year. I think we spend so long in that indoor centre working hard on our skills, and now we're in a phase where it's about applying that in game situations. So yeah, it gives us a real chance to do that, and in the sun as well, which is always nice.
Well, look, we're gonna mic you up in the second game, I believe, and we're going to put cameras all over you and everything else. So we'll let you cack on because you've got a lot of stuff to do today. Go well and good luck.
Cheers, guys. Thanks.
(1864). We were first class then, and we're first class now. With a dream to spread cricket through Lancashire's towns, where girls and boys, with willow and leather, become more than a badge, but the red rose together.
A club where more than legends are made, but friendships, obsessions, moments replayed on our screens, in our minds, in our hearts forever. 'Cause it's who we are, our DNA, the red rose together.
Statham, Briggs, Jimmy, Freddie and Joss Chappie, Sir Clive Lloyd, Carol Hodges, Kate Cross, What a roll call. It's a hard one to measure, with future names still to be written on the Red Rose Together.
We're all about people. It's what the Red Rose really means. Yeah, the ones signing autographs, but the ones behind the scenes.
Our community, grassroots, the ones that feel tethered. Whether you're from here or belong here, we're the Red Rose Together.
And what about this place? Talk about world-class venues. Internationals, gigs, events. You can choose from a menu of triumph, of disaster, of pain, or pleasure.
We've seen it all at Emirates Old Trafford, with the Red Rose together.
Red ball, white ball, lightning and thunder.
Have you ever sat back? Have you ever just wondered how far we've come? The storms we've weathered, or how far we'll go as the Red Rose Together.
So Lancashire win the toss and bowl out in Bengaluru against the KSCA 11. Lancashire's team: Eve Jones, Emma Lamb, Ailsa Lister, Fee Morris, Ellie Threlkeld, who captains the side and keeps wicket, Danny Collins, Liberty Heap, Grace Johnson, Darcy Carter, Hannah Rainey, Hannah Jones and Sophie Morris. And Sophie Morris only bowls. In the second game, Lancashire will be playing 11. So it's 12 in the first game, 11 in the second, as we can see. Head coach Chris Reed giving his team talk at the Allure ground in Bengaluru, where Lancashire's men played last week. Lancashire's men started in Bengaluru, headed to Dubai at the weekend, and Lancashire's women started in Dubai at the weekend, and they played both teams played in that double-header T20 day where both sides won, and now the women have headed off to Bengaluru to finish their tour. They've only just arrived, so they'll be there for another week or so. Good morning to Polly. How do you see today's day going from a Lancashire point of view?
Morning. Yeah, I think from a Lancashire perspective, it's another big opportunity for them. They did really well in Dubai over the weekend, and I like that they've picked 12. I think that's kind of the point of the pre-season tour, test everyone out a little bit. Sophie Morris bowled really, really well on Sunday, so good to see her in the side again, obviously just there to bowl. And then Liberty Heap into the team to bat. She's been fantastic over the last few years, a player that's come through the pathway, so a big opportunity for her, and yeah, hopefully another win from a Lancashire perspective. Yeah,
I mean, both sides were decent, weren't they, on was it Sunday? Yeah, it was Sunday now. The men's win was far more comfortable than the women's win was, but it was a resilient performance from the girls. There were areas they'll want to improve, but overall I think they'll be pretty happy with that performance.
Yeah, definitely. I thought they really pulled it back, and it wasn't their best batting performance, but actually their bowling really made up for that. And I guess those are the signs of resilience you're looking for heading into the season. But then, of course, today they'll want to improve on the batting and have a more convincing performance from that perspective.
Are we expecting quite a bit of spin today out in India?
Yeah, I suspect so. I imagine the conditions will lend themselves more to spin. Obviously, with Lancashire's lineup, they've got a lot of spin options there. You've got Darcy Carter, Sophie Morris, as I mentioned. You also got Fee Morris, who's an all-rounder, Emma Lamb, who bowled a little bit. Even Eve Jones can bowl a little bit of spin. So there are plenty of spin options there and fewer seam options. And then you would imagine from the Indian side there'll be some spin options there as well.
So we can see the home side, their opening batters getting ready to head out to the middle, and the Lancashire side too. It's a mixture of of youth and experience. There are some players missing, the likes of Grace Potts, for example, the new signing at Emirates Old Trafford. She's out in Australia with the England A side. They've got a tour which runs probably to I don't know, 4 or 5 days before the start of the new season, in kind of late April, or around about the 22nd, 23rd, isn't it? I think the first game is for the Tier 1 sides. The Tier 2 sides start a little bit earlier, in the new county-led structure, which is going to be a really exciting moment. This is I think it's the second successive year that Lancashire have been out to Bengaluru, and it's a great facility out there, and of course it'll be awash with excitement, that city, this week, because it's the start of the IPL, isn't it? The men's IPL. So that will be a really interesting competition as well. But our full focus is on the Lancashire women and their preparations for the new season. Where do you see Lancashire's chances this year? I mean, we'll delve a little bit more into the kind of new structure a little bit later on. But are you confident that Lancashire can have a good season?
I mean, I think they've got everything in place to have a really good season. As you mentioned, Grace Potts, a new signing. She's been fantastic over the last few years at her former team, Central Sparks, and of course getting into the England pathway. That's been a really positive thing for her. So having that slight difference in their team options, I think, is really positive. In terms of trophies, it's going to be really hard. Teams are really keen this year, especially with the new structure. They want to start well, but I think, as I mentioned on commentary on Sunday, that actually Lancashire kind of have a bit of an advantage because they've kind of stayed the same. There hasn't been too much change. They've been operating as Lancashire women for a number of years now, and so actually there's not much difference to the team in terms of personnel, but also the setup here at Emirates Old Trafford. So I think from that kind of side of things, that's a bit of an advantage for them.
The huddle has just taken place. Ellie Threlkeld no doubt leading that, and the players are out on their way out to the middle. We should have a few of them mic'd up at various points over the next few hours. We're thinking that the second game is going to be starting around about 7:30 a.m. UK time. So yeah, we'll get cracking on that a little bit later on. So that'll be just around about breakfast time, I would think, back in Manchester where we are. Out there in India, I think it's around about 9 in the morning. So, and it looks like Grace Johnson is going to take the new ball. That's the indications. Newly contracted pro at Emirates Old Trafford this winter, having come through the age groups, the pathway, the Thunder Academy. She captained the Lancashire under-18s to 2 trophies last summer. So she'll be heading into 2025 with a great deal of confidence, won't she?
Yeah, definitely. I think she's been a fantastic leader throughout the age groups for Lancashire, and then has put some really good individual performances in, earning her a place in this side and a debut earlier in the year. So yeah, she's been brilliant, and it's good to see her opening the bowling here. I guess that's a big responsibility for her, and for her to get to that pre-season is fantastic. And I mean, I'm sure she'll be hoping to get plenty of games under her belt across the season.
So Ellie Threlkeld marshalling the troops. She's going to be stood back to Grace Johnson. As we're all set to go out in India, the umpire just making sure everything's in order. Scorers, are you ready? Yeah, let's go. Loose start from the Ramsbottom seamer. Looks a pitch with a green tinge to it. Certainly something we'll see in the early stages of the county season back home.
Yeah, lots of grass on that wicket out in India. As we said, it's the second year that the team have travelled out there for their pre-season tour, which has been fantastic. I know they've kind of led the way with pre-season tours. Lancashire have actually. They've been touring for a couple of years previously to the UAE, and the other women's teams have kind of felt they had to follow suit, which is fantastic.
Yeah, the two Red Rose sides were out in India together last year. This is a venue with a couple of ovals, and that was utilised last year. This year it's a little bit different because Lancashire's men have headed home from Dubai, so their pre-season tour has concluded. So Chris Reed's group have got this facility all to themselves in that sense. Emma Lamb in the background there, and you may have seen a shot of Ailsa Lister with a battery pack and a microphone in her ear a few moments ago. We're going to be chatting to Ailsa at some point in the next hour or so. Played nicely off the back foot through the covers. Has it got the legs to go to the boundary? Yes, it has.
Yeah, chase from Hannah Rainey there in the field. That was good batting from the KSCA side.
It wasn't a great deal of width, was she? She had to make that for herself. But good shot, solid shot. Comeback from Grace Johnson concludes the opening over of the morning.
And finishing her over with a dot ball. And 6 without loss after the first over.
Yes, solid start from both sides. There was that wide. I don't really think that Grace did a great deal wrong with the boundary. It was just perhaps a little bit short, but there wasn't a great deal of width on offer, and Dinesh had to make that width for herself, but did so.
Looks like it'll be Sophie Morris. He's going to be opening from the other end.
Suspect it's just a touch warmer in Bengaluru than it is here at Emirates Old Trafford.
Just a bit warmer and a bit lighter.
Yeah, bad light would be a problem at present back in Manchester. Hannah Jones, who had such a good season last year or such a good campaign in the Rachel Hayhoe Flint Trophy. .22 wickets, I think it was, and she was the leading spinner in that competition. This is the young buck Sophie Morris Thunder Academy game a few years ago, Sophie Morris, 6 for none.
I remember that.
Quite incredible, wasn't it?
That was kind of the first time her name kind of got thrown around the senior stuff, and I remember, I think there should be a wicket here. Yeah.
Breakthrough for Morris, and she's still got the option, or she's still got the chance of 6 for naught. Opening wicket for the young left armour. And Satish goes LBW on the reverse sweep.
That's a really good start from Sophie Morris, just as we were talking about her ability and that famous 6 foot.
Is it LBW? Caught behind, actually.
Yeah, just celebrating with Ellie Threlkeld, the captain and wicket keeper for the Thunder side. And then the second game, I think we'll see Elsa Lister behind the stumps, which will be really interesting, as of course Ellie Threlkeld usually takes that number 1 spot.
Yeah, one of those difficult ones to kind of assess on first glance, wasn't it? I thought it was LBW. I thought it had flicked the pad, and that was the appeal. But no, it looked like it was a glove through to Threlkeld, who takes good catch, standing up to the stumps. I'd imagine as a keeper, they're always pretty tough chances, those, when there's a flurry of action going on in front of you, reverse sweeping and things like that. Bats, gloves, pads everywhere, really. Not far away.
Yeah, nice delivery from Sophie Morris. It's opening over, almost concluded, and she hasn't conceded any runs from it and has the opening wicket. As that'll be the second wicket. She gets it's a double wicket maiden for Sophie Morris, bowling in the second over against the KSCA side. And that is absolutely fantastic.
Ready on her way.
She is proving herself in this pre-season tour, pushing for a place in the side as the season starts in 6 weeks or so. And the catch taken simply by Hannah Jones.
It was there for the shot, actually, it seemed. The timing just wasn't there from the KSCA number 3. I wonder whether there's a bit of a flurry of activity in the home dressing room. There's a little bit of a delay before the new batter came to the crease.
Yeah, the panic of having to quickly pad up.
Where are my gloves?
I mean, it's a sign they've got faith in their batters, so it surely can only be a good thing. And it seems that Hannah Rainey may be bowling here. Hannah Rainey, who has signed as a professional, having been a vet exclusively on large farm animals, which is a fantastic niche. So if your dog has an issue, she can't help, but if you have a cow, she is the one to go to.
That's helped on its way for a boundary. Bobbles into what looks like a bit of a building site there. There was concerns the other. Was it last Monday when the it has a wicket. Eve Jones with the catch, all smiles. So the two new signings combine. It's a third wicket for Lancashire. 30 for 3 in the 5th.
I would say quite a key wicket as Dinesh looked in good form. But the catch is taken by the diving Eve Jones just inside the ring.
She seemed to hesitate, Dinesh, at the crease, almost as if she couldn't believe it, or she was unsure as to whether the catch had been taken, one or the other. Either unsure she'd clothed the attempted lofted. It wasn't a lofted drive, was it? It was more of a kind of back foot punch, really. We'll have a change in voice at the end of the over. Former Lancashire and Cheshire women's captain Alison Byrne will join us.
Ellie Threlkeld and Darcy Carter just discussing. It does look a nice day out there in India.
It does. I was saying
Blue
to
skies.
Paul Allett last week, actually, that when you looked at that shot of the ground, there's a netting at the far end. It's a huge net. There must have been some big hitters in the past. For the powers that be to decide that they needed a net that big. It's a nice shot. 2, I think. It does. Gowder off the mark straight away. Lancashire men's first team scorer Gary Morgan is with us this morning in the studio gallery and has just come back saying that the sons of Sachin Tendulkar and Rahul Dravid both played at this venue. This was their home venue as youngsters.
As the over concludes, 32 for 3. Purana on 7 and Gowder on 2. Those 3 wickets, the first 2 by Sophie Morris and the latest by Darcy Carter. Grace Johnson is back bowling for Lancashire. The first ball runs away for 4. $36 for 3.
Good morning, Polly.
Morning. It really is the early hours of the morning.
Oh, just a tad.
Just turning
Just a
4
tiny
a.m.
bit early in the morning, hey?
I'll be impressed if anyone is tuning in from the UK at this time. Any early risers?
Has your mum not got up in the middle of the night to have a listen?
I don't think she loves cricket that much. Or me. Grace Johnson is in again. And that'll be another boundary.
That outfield looks glorious, doesn't it? You know, when I've watched cricket in India, you quite often see these barren, bare outfields, but that's lush looking, isn't it?
Really green.
Well, they're not frightened to take advantage of any ball that's slightly short of a length or with a bit of width, are these players? They seem to have quite a nice technique. It's just a very attacking style of play.
41 for 3. Grace Johnson bowling. You can see Darcy Carter there doing the fielding, who got the latest wicket for Lancashire. Catch taken by Eve Jones.
Well, they've taken all their catches so far as well, which is always good to see. Pre-season seem to have got their eye in catching wise.
A better delivery from Johnson. That's 2 dot balls in a row for her. You can see Elsa Lister in view there, who is mic'd up and hopefully will be able to speak to her at some point.
It's a fairly substantial bit of kit she's carrying. I hope she doesn't fall on it for her own sake.
Yeah, if she has to do a diving stop, that could be interesting. Grace Johnson, her final ball of the over. And that's slide in the air.
Yeah, nice looking flag, but I don't know where the ball went.
Can't see where the ball went.
We'll just assume it's gone for 4. It looked like it might have done. It could even have gone for 6 the way it went.
Defying
flying
gravity
through
somewhere.
Let's see again.
We'll see the replay.
Oh, it was a catch. Oh my goodness me, what did we say about them taking their catches?
Yeah.
Is that Emma Lamb there
Emma
on the
Lamb,
boundary?
yeah.
Fantastic catch. Well, well, well.
Brilliant. The first wicket for Grace Johnson and sends the KSCA side down 4 wickets. So 41 for 4. And a wicket to end the over.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to back down the hatches a little bit here, unless they want to avoid, you know, a low score. They've got to have something to defend. And I think Prerana might be the girl to have to do it, to be honest.
Yeah, but kind of slightly earlier on in the game, it looked like there could be a nice little partnership that was going to build. And I think that would have really challenged Lancashire, but they seem to have control of the game.
And they're still persisting with Morris. Oh no, beg your pardon, looks like it's Emma Lamb. It's so good to see Emma Lamb back bowling again after her back injury issues, isn't it? I mean, we were all so concerned about her, you know, coming through after that horrible, horrible back injury, but the fact that she's got the confidence to pick at the ball and say, come on Skip, I'm ready to bowl, it's just such a boost for them, because you know, she can bowl some really devastating spells. And although we're blessed with spin bowlers, I think, you know, with her experience, you know, with bowling and batting, it's great to have her back full fettle, isn't it?
Yeah, and it just offers something a little bit different.
That's been dabbed down to Jones. I think a slight misfield there from Hannah Jones. So a slight field change from Threlkeld. But it's a little bit full of delivery, that one from Lamb. A little starter for 10, if you like. They are sunglasses as well, Polly. Would you have turned up? Can you imagine you and your university cricket team rocking up with them?
I would love to do that.
Me.
They are brilliant.
They are like Joe 90 style, for those of you old enough to remember what that's about.
I mean, you're not going to get any sun.
She just come back off the space shuttle or something. Look at it.
That one was just a little bit wide, but a fielding done there by Fee Morris. Emma Lamb looks a little bit confused. She's now laughing. I'm not quite sure what was going on. You can see a replay here.
Oh, she stepped away when the ball had already left her hand. What is she playing at? Umpire should not have called that as a dead ball. No wonder she's confused.
Lamb again.
Oh, she's gone aerial. She's gone aerial.
Oh. Catch taken safely. Darcy Carter.
And Lamb gets a wicket.
Lamb gets her first wicket, and they go 5 down. So I feel like Emma Lamb will be quite happy with that, particularly after what happened with the previous ball.
I don't think she was particularly impressed with the batter stepping away at such a late stage in her delivery. That ball had gone. But, you know, this is, well, I don't know with the age of some of the home side's players, but I do sense there's a lack of maturity here going for that shot at this stage. But it's a learning curve for all the players out there, not just the Lancashire girls. So I'm sure these Indian players are going to be gaining a lot of experience from this in terms of how to manage a T20 game. Yes, you've got to go for your shots, but unless you use up all your balls, you're leaving yourself with a massive target to try and reach.
Yeah, I mean, playing against a professional side will be huge.
Sorry, I was just laughing at Lamb. Did you see what she was doing? She was reliving the shot that wasn't played, the ball before she took the wicket. It's good to see them enjoying their cricket, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry, Polly, do forgive me.
Oh, no problem at all. Yeah, I mean, it's a huge opportunity for the home side to be playing against a fully professional team. And, you know, it'll be a bit of a challenge, as we can see from their batting. But, you know, there have been some good shots and you know, as I say, for them to be playing against players with England caps and Scotland caps is a fantastic chance.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, they do seem technically gifted, all of them, as Lamb comes in. Little tempter, Thrall Kelt took it beautifully. She's been flawless so far this morning, hasn't she? As usual, to be fair, to Thrall Kelt. I mean, she's a tip-top keeper, isn't she? I'd have loved to have had her in behind the stumps where I was playing. As Lamb comes in. Oh, dear me, what a delivery. Straight through the gap. Emma Lamb, welcome back to bowling. She can't believe her look. What's she got in those glasses?
Yeah.
Radar.
2 wickets in the over for Lamb so far, and only 2 runs conceded from it. Absolutely brilliant from Emma Lamb.
Wow. Lovely bit of drift into the off stump there. Yeah. It's looking good for Lancs at this point. I mean, for the sake of the context of the situation, you'd hope that they'd put on a bigger score than they have as yet. But let's see what they can produce as the next batter comes in, whose name we haven't been provided with as yet. But it's a balmy 27 degrees in Bangalore today. A bit chillier this morning when we almost scraped the ice off the cars to come in, wasn't it?
I would love 27 degrees.
27 degrees, nice little bit of breeze. I was watching the plants in the background. Tiny bit muggy looking at the pictures out there, but look at those figures, 2 for 2. Not quite as good as Sophie Morris early doors, 2 for 0, but I think she'd have taken those this morning if she was eating her cornflakes, if you can get cornflakes in Bangalore. Just drying off the old hands there. Still can't get her those glasses, they're very off-putting. In she comes. Nice, full delivery, struck well. And no run.
So 43 for 6 after 7 overs, and it'll be Hannah Rainey who continues the bowling here for Lancashire.
There's a great video going around on YouTube of Hannah Rainey. Have you seen it? You know, she's a vet, don't you?
Yes, yes.
Of her with her arm where vets' arms go. And I just think if she can cope with that, this will be an absolute doddle playing professional cricket, won't it? I mean, yeah. And
Well,
she, like, dealing with these 600 kilogram, 700 kilogram beasts every day, you know, this is nothing, is it? You know.
Well, I remember, I think it was maybe about a year ago or maybe even 2 years ago, I interviewed her and I was asking her about being a vet because I just presumed she did dogs and cats, but she was like, oh no, I went out in the middle of the night to do a cesarean on a cow, and I was just like, it's remarkable, this kind of double life of being a cricketer and a vet exclusively on large farm animals. Incredible skill for both careers.
Yeah, and she was saying on this, I mean, take a look at it, anyone who's listening, it's just a great insight into her life and her journey, if you like. You know, she was offered a part-time contract with the Thunder as it was then, took it, which meant she could reduce her hours as a vet, and now of course she's, you know, full-time contract. She's put her career on hold to come off, you know, predominantly so she can follow her international career, but also, you know, her professional cricket career with the Lancashire women. And it's just such a sign of the times, isn't it, that people can do that. I hate to hark on about me being an old lady and everything, but this was an absolute dream. This would have been a dream, not even, well, even 10 years ago, never mind 30 years ago, like when I was playing. But it's just so fantastic to see the opportunities that are out there for those young women. Just look at what they've got now. Fantastic. So in she comes again. She's just been hit for a couple of runs there. She's beaten the outside edge. She's got a head of steam up there, Polly.
Yeah, I mean, to think also that it was only 2020 when the first domestic contracts came in is remarkable, and 5 years later we've got 8 fully professional sides, and opportunities like this where you get to go on pre-season tour to India and the UAE is absolutely brilliant, and the game has rapidly developed.
In comes Rainey again, right arm seamer. She's getting some nice shape on that at the moment, isn't she? She seems to have found her line a little bit. I think she struggled for length a little bit as well in the first couple of hours I saw her bowl. But this is what pre-season's about, isn't it? Finding your range, getting your radar out.
.45 for 6. Rainey with 2 balls left of her over.
Much better over. And I've just jinxed her.
Good fielding though, just inside the ring, and it'll be run out.
No, too good. It's Lister. She must have known she's going to be mic'd up and having it. Was it Lister? No.
I think it was Grace Johnson.
Yeah.
There on the boundary.
Perfect.
Hi Elsa, can you hear us here in the studio in Manchester?
Hi, yes, I can hear you. Hi.
Hi Elsa, it's going well from a Lancashire perspective, the 7th wicket. What are the conditions like out there? I imagine it's quite warm and compared to here in Manchester.
Yes, it is. It's quite warm. No, the conditions are good actually. From last year, we kind of expected a high scoring game. And pitch is good. Very full, as we saw, like when it pierces the infield, it does kind of run away. But I think we've bowled excellently. To be fair, everyone has kind of chipped in with a couple of hits and we've put the pressure on them. So I think we're pretty happy.
Yeah, and Sophie Morris, she's been brilliant. Of course, was really good in the game on Sunday and has continued that. What have you thought of her bowling so far today?
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah, she's been brilliant again. Sophie Morris started us off well in the power play. But yeah, she's been excellent. She bowled really well the other day, and continuing her form out here in Bangalore.
Brilliant. Your Scotland teammate getting a wicket there. Thanks so much for speaking to us, Elsa.
Thanks, guys.
Hearing from Elsa Lister out in India as Hannah Rainey gets her first wicket. So the KSCA side, 8 wickets down, 45 for 8, and this is a fantastic bowling performance from Lancashire.
It really is, but I just got a sense that one kept a little bit low. It didn't half jag back in at the ball bash. There wasn't a hell of a lot she could have done about that one, but still, you bowl them in the right areas, you get the results in the end and the reward that you deserve. Yeah, and Rainey did deserve that. She took a bit of tap early doors and then came right back. Yeah, it's a shame. I would have liked to have seen the Indian side use the experience out there in the middle. Not so much the last batter, but previous ones perhaps throw their wickets away a little bit earlier than they needed to. And it's the tall right off break spinner, another Scots contingent. What are we going to do when they go off to the World Cup? There's 4 of them now, isn't there?
Yeah, there is a big Scottish contingent.
Irish players available, and drag them
in. But yeah, I mean, it's really positive actually. I think that Lancashire have kind of looked wider, and of course players like Elsa Lister have come down from Scotland, but then they've also managed to recruit Darcy Carter from the South East, who also happens to play for Scotland. Yeah. So they clearly favour the Scottish players, but it works in...
Sorry, it might be used to the Manchester climate, potentially.
Yeah. Exactly. Conditions they're definitely a lot more used to.
Oh, that's a beauty. Yeah, I'm going to say that looked plumb to me. What a gorgeous delivery from Carter there. Flight, extra bounce with the height, lovely.
That was fantastic, and I'm sure that'll make the highlights package. That was a great delivery, and a second wicket for Darcy Carter.
Flighted, tiny bit of drift and turn. Yeah, too good, just too good.
Now, if she could replicate that first game of the season, that would be ideal.
Every game of the season, please. 9 down.
Yeah, 45 for 9.
Well, you're asking a lot for your 10th and 11th wicket partnership to produce a good score here. Disappointing. Threlcat would have perhaps wanted the bowlers to have bowled well, but larger target potentially for her batters, but at least they've got another game coming up, so hopefully. Having said that, you don't know what's going to happen, you know.
Exactly, they could have some fantastic bowlers on the case.
As my old coach used to say, they're 45-0 up, you know.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, coach, okay.
So 2 batters, both on naught, yet to face a delivery. And Darcy Carter will continue after getting a wicket her first ball.
Yeah, as you say, she does offer something different, because we are blessed with spinners, but none of whom have this height. Of course, Sophie Eccleston's a tall bowler, but I don't know how much the international players are going to be playing this year. Don't know what their commitment's going to be like to the domestic scene. I'd hope that we'd see a little bit more of the likes of Smale, Mahika Gore, of course, still to come in. Eccleston, Cross.
Yeah. There are just so many players.
I know.
Yeah, it's. I mean, you look at this team now, and you look at the calibre of it, but actually, you add in 5 England and kind of fringe England players, and that team is so bolstered. And I imagine most of them will be available before England commitments when they play the West Indies. So for those first few weeks of the season, which are quite jam-packed.
Yeah. It'll be very interesting to see how many games the international players play. I mean, I feel for the sake of this new structure, I think it'd be important for them to be involved a lot more than previous seasons. Raise the standards of everyone concerned, and also it will give them a chance to rebuild their confidence, which must have taken a right old battering against the Aussies through the Ashes last summer, and to actually play in an environment they feel comfortable with, against opposition they're familiar with, and just get some runs under the belt, get some decent bowling spells under their belts, and of course make a contribution to their county sides, who are in a brand new era, if you like. And it's a pivotal time in women's cricket in this country. We need to make it. This has got to work. This structure has to work, because many people may not be aware that the structure's been changed and changed again and changed again, and we really need to see it working. As the last wicket's fallen, Silent Assassin comes in, Hannah Jones, 1 ball, 1 wicket, and that is the last over of this game, unless of course they decide to bat on, which of course is always a possibility in these friendly fixtures.
Yeah, 45 all out, so no runs for the past few wickets. And
middle peg.
Beautiful delivery.
But, you know, she's swiping across the line there. I mean, to be fair, she's the, number 11 bat, but looks like don't think there are any rush to come off there, Polly. So potentially there could be some extra batters being allowed to carry on the innings.
I think that would be productive decision to make, and give Lancashire a chance to bowl a little bit more, but also an opportunity for the home side to bat for a little bit longer.
So Threlkeld will be delighted with her bowler's performance. It's not often you bowl a team out for 45, regardless of the shot selection of the opposition. You've still got to get the ball in the right place at the right time. And it's not often you say this, but here comes the number 12 batter. I think she was expecting to bat. She's got her black trackies on. She wasn't ready for this.
So we will continue, just awaiting confirmation of how many batters are yet to come. But Hannah Jones will continue after her fantastic start of getting the final wicket.
You might get a situation when we have like 50 for 13 or something here, mightn't we? Or we've got no name on the shirt, got the wrong kit on, but now is your chance to shine, young lady. Hannah Jones, second ball. Well, there's nothing wrong with that defensive shot. Well played. Didsbury player is Hannah Jones, or was. The Cheshire Leagues. For those of you awake in this part of the world. Local lass. Oof, it was close. Close. She was tempting her with a little bit of more width there, was Jones.
This is a very, very good over from Jones, albeit bowling to number 12. I don't think I've ever said that before.
Again, good stride in.
Final ball of her over and an opportunity to get a wicket maiden.
Or perhaps a double wicket maiden. You never know the way things have been going. Nicely played out by the number 12 batter, who is Gowda. And I believe we've got a change of commentary as the two batsmen in play fist pump, tell each other to hang around, get a few runs on the board for Lancashire to try and chase. As we are momentarily going to be rejoined by our Graham, as Scylla would say. Again, those of you old enough to remember Blind Date. Just getting mic'd up, booted up. And it's Sophie Morrison again. Left arm spinner. Good Wirral girl, my part of the world. Morris. Oh, and she's got another one. What a great delivery. You've got to feel a certain amount of sympathy for these girls because Morris is deadly at the moment. Third wicket. First ball of her third over. Graham, welcome.
This is going well, isn't it?
It's well. I don't know what you've been making of it while you've been sat in the kitchen having your brew, but there's been some deadly bowling from the sorry, excuse me, not the Thunder anymore, are they? From Lancashire women. But yeah, and we are in fact 45 now for 11 wickets.
Yeah, the vagaries of pre-season friendly cricket. These are the things that you can manufacture, aren't they, to suit your means, and at the end of the day, the result isn't the important thing here. It's miles in the legs, and yes, I you know, you'd rather be on the right end of a result. Clearly, builds confidence and all that kind of thing, but the miles in the legs are the most important thing. Overs for bowlers, time at the crease for the batters, and that's why we're carrying on.
Yeah, particularly pleased for Lamb with her couple of wickets, as I said earlier. Yeah, she hasn't had a productive year with the ball. It's a couple of seasons, and Morris has again brought her. Oh. I was about to say it's wrapped the pads, but surely not. But it is. It's another wicket for Sophie Morris. She's having an absolute ball out there, isn't she, Graham? My goodness me, 4 wickets.
This is the stage where you feel a bit for the scorers.
Yeah, 45 for 12. I predicted 50 for 12. No, 50 for 13, I think I said. Oh yeah, the score is going to run out. The pens are going to be flying around. At least they've not had too many dots for each colour. They can get away with double dotting, I reckon. Dear.
Yeah, we've just had word in our ear that is going to be the conclusion of the innings, it seems. There could still be a little bit of toing and froing here. It would not surprise me at all if Lancashire came out to bat and the total was something like 145 rather than 45. That's the kind of thing that you see in pre-season. Go on, we'll chase more. We'll give ourselves a little bit more of a challenge, because the last thing you want to do is to end up with just 2 batters batting. You know, you want to give us.
There's got to be a purpose, isn't there?
Sounds like we're going to have Ailsa Lister on the microphone again for a second time. So we'll be chatting to one of Lancashire's Scottish contingent in a moment or two. But that was you take away all the wickets and the toing and throwing and things like that of what can happen and extra batters. But that's a pretty good performance from Lancashire.
Well, there's a couple, 2 or 3 loose balls there, but you can only do what you can do if you bowl it in the right place. And some of the shot selection wasn't brilliant, to be fair, but they bowled some really good stuff. The 2 spinners in particular, Lamb, Morris, but they all bowled well. Rainey got a bit of tap early doors, but pulled herself back and was really getting a really good shape on the bowling towards the end of her last over, and was merited with a wicket. So, and the fielding was backed up. A couple of good catches on the boundary, a run out as well. It's just what you need pre-season, isn't it? You want your bowlers all firing up.
Absolutely. It's been a pretty decent start for Lancashire, who won their opening game at the weekend in Dubai. So they'll be delighted with the way that things are going.
Well, nice day out for them so far, isn't it? Everything's smelling roses.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind being out there, to be honest with you.
So there's a couple of games that Lancashire will play today. This is the first of 2 T20s against the Karnataka Cricket Association 11. We have Ailsa Lister on the mic. Ailsa, can you hear us back at Emirates Old Trafford?
Hi, yes I can.
That's a pretty good morning's work in the field and with the ball.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think we're pretty happy with that. I think we bowled pretty well. I think, to be fair, with the pitch and the outfield, it kind of proved if you do bowl a bad ball, it probably will get put away. But I think overall we're very happy and took our chances and got a little run out in there as well. So pretty happy overall.
The great thing is that the wickets were shared around, weren't they? You know, that it wasn't somebody just running through Karnataka. It was, you know, everybody's chipped in with wickets, catches as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's obviously the whole point of pre-season. Batters want to get out in the middle, and bowlers want to get some overs in the legs. So yeah, I think everyone will be pretty happy to share the wickets around, and yeah, I think everyone will be pretty satisfied with that performance, and hopefully we'll be able to chase it down pretty quickly.
What's the plan with the bat now? We were wondering whether that target may just get adjusted slightly, just to give yourselves a little bit more of a challenge in a sense, because you know you'd expect to chase 45 down pretty quickly, or 46 as it would be. I wonder whether it might get adjusted to something like 146 or something.
Yeah, not sure yet, to be honest. I've not made my way into the change room to find out exactly what's happening. But yeah, I think initially it'll just be to get those 45 runs done, and then obviously we've got a game this afternoon as well, and it is pretty warm out here. So whether we'll just take lunch early and go again in the second game, I'm not sure. But yeah, we'll be focusing on getting those runs pretty easily and pretty quickly, I reckon.
Just whilst we've got you, let's talk about what's to come for you over the next few weeks. It's obviously the start of the county summer. There's you could be back in India at the end of the year with a World Cup on the horizon. It's you must be looking forward to what 2025 has on offer.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty busy one. Yeah, after this tour, us Scotland girls will be heading out to Pakistan for the qualifiers, so that'll be great. I've never been to Pakistan and played out there, so that'll be a really good challenge for us. So fingers crossed that goes well, and then obviously we'll get back, and a couple of days later we'll be straight into the season. So it's pretty busy few months, and hopefully the season will go to plan.
Are you confident that you can qualify for what would be a second World Cup in the space of 12 months?
Yeah, I think it'll be a tough qualifiers, to be quite honest. I think obviously only 8 teams at this World Cup instead of the 10 at the T20 World Cup. So yeah, I think it'll be a great challenge, and obviously just to play the teams ranked higher than us, Pakistan, Bangladesh, West Indies, people like that. It'll be great for us to get out there, and we've not played a huge amount of 50 over cricket as a nation. So yeah, I think we'll be looking to play our best cricket.
Looks like you're probably just going to be back in time for the start of the county season. I think that's the way the schedule works, isn't it? So so that's a hugely exciting thing, and you must be confident, as you are with Scotland's chances, you must be confident of Lancashire's chances of silverware this summer.
Yeah, definitely. I think we've been looking good over winter, and yeah, we've got a couple of great signings as well. So yeah, I think we're feeling confident, and I think we're just raring to go. To be honest, by the end of this trip, we'll just be ready to go.
Brilliant. Thanks, Elsa. Go and get your pads on. We shall see you shortly, and we may speak to you later on.
Great. Thank you. Brilliant. Thanks, guys.
No problem.
Thanks, Elsa.
So yeah, it was. Spirits are high, as you would expect them to be.
Yeah, don't think there's much sign of them staying out there, to be honest, just any longer than they need to. Lunch seemed quite a priority from what I was gathering from Elsa there. Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I had a nice little bit of an Indian meal myself last night, so
right,
you know, just to get into the spirit of the day.
Right,
yep,
okay.
Yep.
So yeah, we will be restarting in the next 10 minutes or so, and we have just in our ears been told that the target will be 46. So Lancashire, when we return after the innings break, will be chasing 46 to win after a excellent morning's work with the ball and in the field. But we shall be back with you in the next 5 minutes or so.
When I was a kid, there was no professional women's cricket. I didn't even think that women could be professional sports people.
Especially early on, it just didn't really seem like there was a career in it.
To support myself around cricket, I had to work at the petrol garage.
I was the only girl, so I stood out.
I'd love for young girls to be able to dream about being an athlete and it to be achievable.
Thanks to the Hilton funding my contract, it's allowed me to play the game that I love all day, every day.
We're like an engine and we need to be fueled with the right gas.
Without funding, we can't be visible. You can't be what you can't see.
As a team, it feels like we're breaking boundaries.
Thunder and Lancashire always want to put women's cricket at the forefront, and now I think that's really shining through.
It's mad to think that without the Hilton funding, like, we wouldn't be playing cricket every day, training.
Well, we could be, but we wouldn't have any money.
We wouldn't, yeah, true.
(1864). We were first class then, and we're first class now. With a dream to spread cricket through Lancashire's towns, where girls and boys, with willow and leather, become more than a badge, but the red rose together.
A club where more than legends are made, but friendships, obsessions, moments replayed on our screens, in our minds, in our hearts forever. 'Cause it's who we are, our DNA, the red rose together.
Statham, Briggs, Jimmy, Freddie and Joss Chappie, Sir Clive Lloyd, Carol Hodges, Kate Cross. What a roll call. It's a hard one to measure, with future names still to be written on the red rose together.
We're all about people. It's what the red rose really means. Yeah, the ones signing autographs, but the ones behind the scenes.
Our community, grassroots, the ones that feel tethered. Whether you're from here or belong here, we're the red rose together.
And what about this place? Talk about world-class venues. Internationals, gigs, events. You can choose from a menu of triumph, of disaster, of pain, or pleasure.
We've seen it all at Emirates Old Trafford, with the red rose together.
Red ball, white ball, lightning and thunder.
Have you ever sat back? Have you ever just wondered how far we've come? The storms we've weathered, or how far we'll go as the red rose together.
Action. All the fun and all the games, they all start here with All Stars Cricket. All new experiences for everyone. All over the country. Every session is all-out action all the time. All well coached, all invited. Even mums and dads. Skills, friendships, smiles, dreams. It all happens here. All you need is delivered right to your door. Best of all, it even has your name on it. All the activators are fully trained. and all they want is for us to have a great time. Always have ball, catch, throw, try it all. It's time to go all in, all together, and it all starts with All Stars. All you need to get started is at allstarscricket.co.uk.
Welcome to the opening day. Oh, that is a wonderful shot.
When I was a kid, there was no professional women's cricket. I didn't even think that women could be professional sports people.
Especially early on, it just didn't really seem like there was a career in it.
To support myself around cricket, I had to work at the petrol garage.
I was the only girl, so I stood out.
I'd love for young girls to be able to dream about being an athlete and it to be achievable.
Thanks to the Hilton funding my contract, it's allowed me to play the game that I love all day, every day.
We're like an engine and we need to be fueled with the right gas.
Without funding, we can't be visible. You can't be what you can't see.
As a team, it feels like we're breaking boundaries.
Thunder and Lancashire always want to put women's cricket at the forefront, and now I think that's really shining through.
It's mad to think that without the Hilton funding, like, we wouldn't be playing cricket every day, training.
Well, we could be, but we wouldn't have any money.
We wouldn't, yeah, true.
Welcome back to the game between Lancashire and the KSCA side out in India. And Lancashire managed to ball them out for 45, so they'll be chasing that total down. They had 10 overs for the first innings. It'll be the second innings. Now, we've got Emma Lamb out there in the middle, and as I say, target of 46, so it should be comfortable for Lancashire, but stranger things have happened in cricket. Lamb facing the first ball, and she defends that. Pre-season tour for Lancashire. They over the weekend were in Dubai and faced the UAE women, and have now come to India. Lamb again. There's a slight appeal from the bowler. And a shy at the stumps, but
yeah, this bowler's got a line straight away, hasn't she? She's jagged a couple in at Lamb. That one rushed her. Trying to check the number. Interestingly, a lot of the Indian players have got these arm guards that seem all the fashion there. Don't know whether they're to support the elbow, to prevent getting grazed on the outfield.
I think it's, yeah, a grazing
both.
thing. I think there are some players I know in the domestic structure that will play with one on, which I'm like, so you're only going to dive on that side? But, yeah, don't want to get a nasty, like, grass burn.
Yeah, because although it is green, it does look like it could be hard, a bit sterner than our grass going around the wicket. It's a left-handed Jones. Assuming it's Jones, is it, on the strike?
I think it might be Alice Clark. Who's come in.
Yes, it is, number 35. There you go, Alice Clark. Homegrown talent.
Exactly. From Accrington Cricket Club.
Come through the academy. Played for Lancashire and Cumbria, I believe, back in the day. Yeah, she's a bit pacey, this opener, isn't she? It's a lovely shot from Lamb. She's pulled that with, like, so much time. Classy. Classy Lamb.
That will be the first boundary for Lancashire of the day. That was a lovely shot.
Just played the length. It's the first one that the bowler's dropped a tiny bit short and Lamb straight onto it, head still as a rock. Absolutely no doubt that was going for 4. Changing the field there. They've moved a fielder backward of square. Plays it straight. Clark saying wait.
So the target of 46, and they've already knocked off 6 of those runs. So just 40 to go to win.
Excuse me.
Gowda with her final ball of the over.
What a lovely little shot, flicked off the legs. Clark, off and running. Beg your pardon, Emma Lamb again. Sorry, it's Clark's on strike now. Oh no, she's not. It's the last ball of the over. I'm having a nightmare in this over, aren't I? Sneezing.
I mean, it's more difficult when it's on TV than in person. So 7 runs from the first over. It's a solid start by Lancashire. And the first time we've seen Alice Clark on this pre-season tour.
Yeah, she could do with a good tour, could Alice Clark. There's an awful lot of competition in that top end of the batting order. And yeah, I hope for her sake she has a proper little breakthrough season. We showed glimpses of her ability last season, but I'm sure she'll be absolutely busting her gut to try and nail down a regular place in that top order batting of the Lancashire team.
I mean, it's a tough squad to get into, and especially with the addition of Eve Jones, of course, a left-handed opener. So that makes it a little bit more difficult for Clark. But pretty sure it was a friendly against the Netherlands, I believe, last year, where she got a century. And that's, against the international side. So she showed promise. But as we say, it's a tough team to get into. So you can see I'm not sure what animals they were in front of the camera. They look like dragonflies, but
oh yeah,
they're
massive, flying across the screen. I noticed those earlier. Yeah, they're very distracting. If you've got a grill on, and one of those is buzzing past your eye line. Oh, this bowler's tall. She's getting some bounce out of this wicket. Rathika, like the look of her actually. But she's got a look of Mahika Gora bouncer, hasn't she, with her physique?
Yeah.
That's what they want. This is the sort of challenge that these batters will want. And these two will be desperate not to give their wicket away. They'll want to knock this off themselves, make no doubt about that. That's probably what they were saying at the interval of the over there. Come on, we've got this. We don't need anybody else to finish this job off. Let's do it.
39 runs required.
Rithika into a stride. That's a sneaky little single.
That was quick running between the wickets.
I think this bowler could do with an extra 2 or 3 yards of a run-up, actually. I don't think she's fully into her stride on her delivery step. Yeah. I think you get the bowling coaches onto a little bit and we get even more pace and bounce from her. I wonder how old she is. I wish we had a bit more information about these players. I'd love to be able to feed back to you, but we've not been sent through any information from the home side about the history of some of these players. It'd be interesting to know their backgrounds and how they've got to cricket in a cricket mad country. It'd be great to hear their stories, wouldn't it?
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah, she could definitely do with another couple of strides. It's a nice punt straight down the ground again, and what a great dive that was, but to no avail. It's gone for 4, just a little jab.
Yeah, good attempt in the field. But Clark gets another boundary.
With a really classic little straight drive, punch down the ground. Lovely. Look at that. So in line, head still, high elbow.
And I mean, the opportunities for domestic cricket in India are absolutely thriving at the moment, with the WPL concluding last week.
Another 4. Clark's timing it well.
We said Clark needed a good pre-season tour, and she's had a very good start to her innings.
Yeah, from what I recall, she does score quickly. She doesn't hang around. But again, that was quick hands, not much backlift, timed. You can see how the sun is affecting the cameraman in the background there. He's got his, he looks a bit like Omar Sharif, doesn't he, with his, his towel over his head there. You don't know who that is, do you, Polly? No, Egyptian actor. He was in that famous Peter O'Toole film about one of the British generals in the deserts during the war times. Name escapes me now. Can't even remember it myself. But Omar Sharif, definitely. Anyway, back to cricket.
16 without loss after the first 2 overs. Just approaching 5 AM UK time.
It's our first sighting of the spinner. They're not hanging around, are they, these players? They're taking every opportunity for the quick single. Lawrence of Arabia, there you go.
I'll have to add it to my list.
It's a great film.
I am probably one of the worst people to ask about films.
Well,
I just watch like the same ones over
probably
and over again.
30-something years younger than you as well, Polly, to be fair. You are allowed. If I asked my daughter about Lawrence of Arabia, she'd give me that same look. Getting round the wicket to the left-hander. Declines to the run sensibly as it's scuffed to the keeper. Is it me or are those wicket-keeping gloves enormous? Or is it just because they're white?
I'll have to have a look in a second. If I spot it, I won't be... They do, yeah.
Either she's got big hands or she's forgotten her gloves and borrowed some from the guys. Yeah, these wide-brimmed hats are
I do like the wide brims.
In this type of weather, though.
Yeah.
Save you getting burnt at the back of your neck as well.
Interesting. The bowler keeping her cap on whilst bowling.
Oh, she's gone aerial. Oh, she's got
Drop
a bit lucky
short.
there. That's a great piece of fielding there, so keep that from going over the, I was going to say boundary cone over there. Padded it back to her teammate who was backing up. But that's the difference. Lam got perhaps a little bit of luck, or is it just that she guided it away from the fielder? But a similar shot in the first innings was snaffled, wasn't it? I think by Lam herself.
Yeah. Yeah. I think she got a bit lucky there. And the fielder didn't run in and take that catch.
Nice back-footed shot there, square cut. Beats the field for 4. You get value for your shots here, don't you? Lam's enjoying herself. She's gone with the spin.
.24 without loss. So just 22 more runs required.
That is the over.
End of the third over, 25 without loss, so miles ahead of the run rate. Emma Lamb on 14 from 13, Alice Clark on 10 from 5, and everything is going very well for Lancashire this morning.
It really is. Even that slightly mishit skied shot from Lamb landed safely, so it's a sign of that when it's your day, it's your day. But still only in the first game. So of course, we've got another match to follow on from this one with a slightly different lineup. Yeah, it's looking good. I've been impressed with Clark, got to say. I mean, Lamb is a class act and always will be. You know, class is permanent, form is temporary. She's a class act, isn't she? But Clark has, she's taking hold of the game here and making the most of her opportunity.
Yeah, definitely. As we've said a number of times, it would be good if, she can have a good pre-season tour. It's a competitive team to get into, and she's been in and around the squad since around 2020, where she played one match but hasn't played a competitive game since. So it would be good for her to try and push her way into the side, particularly, towards the end of the season, opportunities open up. As Starver knew over and it signalled wide.
Yeah, it was a brilliant cut take from the keeper. She was very, very wide and had to dive full length to stop that game for four wides. He looks quite sprightly, the keeper, even though the gloves must be weighing her down somewhat.
I'm always impressed by wicket keeping. I don't know how they do it.
Again, a little bit wider. Lamb's taken advantage. And again, the keeper has to be athletic and agile. Yeah, what impresses me most is that the fielders just seem to think that they can chuck it anyway, anyhow, to keeper, and they're going to have to stop it. There doesn't seem to be any great care taken of your wicket keepers. Enough care, shall we say? And they just seem to sort of, half bounce it, full toss it in at the knees and at the shins.
Yeah, I mean, in a uni game, I got put down as the wicket keeper.
Oh,
I mean, as a bowler, that's quite a hit to take. But I did realise it is just like the hardest job, because you have to focus so much for every single delivery, and also pick up the pieces of everyone else's mess, and also take the responsibility of that. So I have huge respect for wicket keepers.
That's gone down. Yeah, keeper couldn't quite get that one.
Good fielding behind though to stop that.
Yeah, I managed to avoid keeping wicket the whole of my cricket career until I foolishly said I'd do a bit of wicket keeping at Cricket Week, Women's Cricket Week, which is still going, those of you who don't heard of it. It's when a group of old fogies like me, plus a few youngsters, troop down to Colville and have a little cricket festival. Anyway, it's a bit wide again. Lamb doesn't mind them wide and low like that. She'll take advantage. She slapped it down to square. Down to point, sorry, not square. Moves on to 16 from her 15 deliveries. Clark still on 10, having not had much of the strike recently. But she has now into Clark. Left-hander, down leg. It's kept very low, and again the keepers have to take it on the third bounce. Wide.
31 without loss with the target of 46, so just 15 runs away from that total. I imagine they'll have this wrapped up very, very quickly.
So what I hadn't realised about wicket keeping is, you know, the helmet, when you're batting, you're standing upright. You don't notice it. And you're keeping and you're up and down and up and down. By the end of the day, my neck felt like it was about to, my head was about to fall off. Oh, Clark. She's taken a swipe at that one. She's really gutted with herself. It was really good delivery, right on middle peg. For some reason, Clark's eyes lit up there, but it was just not the right ball to play that shot, unfortunately, and she knows it. But well bowled. Annoyingly, that's the type of delivery that will get wickets, because she's just had 2 or 3 widens and probably got a bit impatient, not been on strike. A couple of strides thought that was going to go wherever it was going to bounce, isn't it? Look where she is.
Yeah, immediately Alice Clark plays the shot back, and yeah, good delivery, wrong shot. And it'll be Liberty Heap who comes to the crease, who's in the game just as a batter today. I remember a couple of seasons ago, I think it was the last game of the season here at Emirates Old Trafford, and Liberty Heap scored, it was like 36 or 38 not out off 18 balls, and it was an explosive innings, and one of her first performances in a senior shirt, and she was absolutely brilliant. It was just so exciting to think, oh, this is the new generation of Lancashire players, and they are so good.
Yep, she's not frightened to play her shots, is Liberty. Let's just hope she gives herself at least 2 or 3 balls to have a look at this wicket. There does seem to be a bit of occasional low bounce as well. You saw one from Hannah Rainey keep quite low. And not get frustrated, because it's difficult as a batter. You don't want to get bat on ball. You want to hit it, and if they're bowling wide, you know, it's like lottery cricket, I call it. It's the type of bowling I used to get out to a lot, because I'm a bit of a hothead, or I was when I was a batter, and I would have been an Alice Clark. That's a typical way I would have got out back in the day. It's a lovely shot to get off the mark though. Look at that smack. One ball, 1 4.
Power. That was a lovely
Straight
shot.
through the covers. Yeah, she's happy with that one. Yeah, take that. Smack. Welcome to the tour, Liberty. Don't know if she got much of a bat out in Dubai, Polly. I didn't get to watch much of that game. Did she get to?
No, she wasn't in the game on Sunday, so this is her first bit of game time in the pre-season tour. Of course, I imagine they'll have a lot of training as well, but the first time we've seen her out in the middle.
She's got a 400% strike rate at the moment. That's not bad, is it? And she follows it up with a classic forward defensive.
35 for 1, so not much for Lancashire to do now. Just 11 runs away.
Gosh, yeah, you forget they only need 46. You're just thinking, oh, I hope she stays in for a bit. Don't need to, do they, really? Well weighted, slightly slower ball. Heap spotted it. Dealt with it. Oh, it's a hard life for those players on the sideline, isn't it?
Just sitting in the sun.
They look really stressed out. Poor things.
Yeah, do you know what? It would be lovely to be in India right now.
Anywhere except this studio. I'm sorry if my teeth are chattering, guys. It's really cold in here this morning. What time is it? About 4 o'clock in the morning?
It's 5 now.
5 now.
Yeah. So I'm sure there'll be some people waking up across the UK.
Shot off the back foot for no run from Lamb. Just like that shot. Spinner's coming in again. Again, Lamb gets to play one of her favourite shots wide of the off stump, and she's dismissed that with ease for 4.
That just races away past the boundary flags. 39 for 1, so just 7 runs required for Lancashire to see a victory in their first match in India. And we're going to have a switch of voices as Graham Hardcastle will come in. 39 for 1. Lamb on 20 from 17, and Liberty Heap 4 from 3. And it's put in the air, goes over the head of the fielder, and will head to the boundary. So just 3 runs required for Lancashire to win. Lamb has done a fantastic job opening here, and Heap has come in after the dismissal of Clark, the only wicket of the game so far.
I have news.
Brilliant.
It seems like the plan from here is going to be that there are now going to be 3 games today. They're going to play a T10 immediately after this, and then play a T20 after that to make up the time for the kind of lost overs, in a sense, because this game is so short. Lancashire just 2 away from their target, so the T10 is going to pretty much start in the next 15 to 20 minutes, we would think. That seems to be the plan of action.
Just 2 runs away. Liberty Heap facing. She's 4 from 4.
So 5 overs gone. Lancashire 44 for 1, dominant performance. This from the Red Rose County, out in Bengaluru this morning. Emma Lamb, 25 off 19. Libby Heap, a young batting all-rounder, has only just come to the crease, has 4. They've chased this target with a minimum of fuss, haven't they, Lancashire?
Yeah, it's been good from Lancashire. Obviously quite an easy task at hand, but they've done a good job of it. You know, as a cricket side, you can mess that up, and sometimes with a low total, actually, it becomes a little bit more difficult. But yeah, they've done it with absolute ease, and Emma Lamb has been brilliant, supported by Alice Clark, who got a couple of early boundaries, and then Libby Heap coming in now.
Could be the winning blow. No, just the single. Missed time from Libby Heap, product of Lower House Cricket Club up near Burnley. Father Ben is club legend.
.45 for one run required.
And that is it.
Hit in the air is fielded, but the work is done. The game is concluded, and Emma Lamb and Liberty Heap not out in the middle as they comfortably chase down 46 in 5.3 overs. Not sure they've realised.
Myself and Polly were just looking at each other, just wondering what was going on then, and yeah,
the umpires are just
clock the fact that the game is concluded. We think.
Yeah, I mean the bowler was ready to continue, and I think even Liberty Heap hadn't quite realised. She looked like she was ready.
She wants to carry on.
She's keen. She's ready to build an innings. So it's just. Perhaps the message we have received has not been sent to the middle.
Yeah. Right. The scorers are suggesting in India that it's only 43 for one.
So we'll just wait to find out exactly what's going to happen. I mean, 43 and 46, it's not the biggest difference in the world. So if they have to complete the overall, as it looks like they're walking off.
Yeah, well, Gary here at Emirates Old Trafford has it at 46 for one, and I would trust Gary all day long.
So the players head off, having chased down the total very quickly. Emma Lamb finishing 26 not out from 20, and Liberty Heap 5 from 7.
I mean, the good thing about this is that there has been performances right across the board, hasn't there? Yes, the batters will have wanted more work in a sense, but the bowlers have shared the wickets around. Emma Lamb would get the sponsors player of the match if there was one awarded, in a sense, wickets and runs, but Sophie Morris was good as well. The fielding was excellent. Hannah Jones has contributed. So yes, whilst there will be an air of frustration that the game hasn't extended as long as you'd perhaps hoped. Only, well, it's concluded inside 16 overs in total, hasn't it? There, the KSA 11, 45 all out. Sophie Morris 4 for 10 from 2.2 overs. Emma Lamb 2 for 2. Darcy Carter 2 for 4. Hannah Jones as well with a wicket. And Emma Lamb 26 not out in pursuit. So yeah, there will be an air of frustration that the game hasn't gone as long as it has. But you know, we've explained that there is a little bit of kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Some kind of manufacturing of the playing conditions for today. It looks like we're going to have 3 games. A T10 will start in the next 10 to 15 minutes or so. So yeah, we'll be back with you, but we've got some highlights, plenty of them from a Lancashire point of view this morning. An early start here at Emirates Old Trafford. Out in India, we started at 9 AM local time, and Lancashire were right at it from ball 1, and we can cut to some highlights, and we'll be back with you for the start of the T10 game in around about 10 to 15 minutes time.
When I was a kid, there was no professional women's cricket. I didn't even think that women could be professional sports people.
Especially early on, it just didn't really seem like there was a career in it.
To support myself around cricket, I had to work at the petrol garage.
I was the only girl, so I stood out.
I'd love for young girls to be able to dream about being an athlete and it to be achievable.
Thanks to the Hilton funding my contract, it's allowed me to play the game that I love all day, every day.
We're like an engine and we need to be fueled with the right gas.
Without funding, we can't be visible. You can't be what you can't see.
As a team, it feels like we're breaking boundaries.
Thunder and Lancashire always want to put women's cricket at the forefront, and now I think that's really shining through.
It's mad to think that without the Hilton funding, like, we wouldn't be playing cricket every day, training.
Well, we could be, but we wouldn't have any money.
Yeah, true.
Action. All the fun and all the games, they all start here with All Stars Cricket. All new experiences for everyone, all over the country. Every session is all-out action all the time. All welcome, all invited, even mums and dads. Skills, friendships, smiles, dreams, it all happens here. All you need is delivered right to your door. Best of all, it even has your name on it. All the activators are fully trained, and all they want is for us to have a great time. Always. Tap, ball, catch, throw, try it all. It's time to go all in, all together. And it all starts with All Stars. All you need to get started is at allstarscricket.co.uk.
1864. We were first class then, and we're first class now. With a dream to spread cricket through Lancashire's towns, where girls and boys, with willow and leather, become more than a badge, but the red rose together.
A club where more than legends are made, but friendships, obsessions, moments replayed on our screens, in our minds, in our hearts forever. 'Cause it's who we are, our DNA, the red rose together.
Statham, Briggs, Jimmy, Freddie and Joss Chappie, Sir Clive Lloyd, Carol Hodges, Kate Cross. What a roll call. It's a hard one to measure, with future names still to be written on the red rose together.
We're all about people. It's what the red rose really means. Yeah, the ones signing autographs, but the ones behind the scenes.
Our community, grassroots, the ones that feel tethered. Whether you're from here or belong here, we're the red rose together.
And what about this place? Talk about world-class venues. Internationals, gigs, events. You can choose from a menu of triumph, of disaster, of pain, or pleasure.
We've seen it all at Emirates Old Trafford, with the red rose together.
Red ball, white ball, lightning and thunder.
Have you ever sat back? Have you ever just wondered how far we've come? The storms we've weathered, or how far we'll go as the red rose together.
Welcome to the opening day. Oh, that is a wonderful shot.
There was no professional women's cricket. I didn't even think that women could be professional sports people.
Especially early on, it just didn't really seem like there was a career in it.
To support myself around cricket, I had to work at the petrol garage.
I was the only girl, so I stood out.
I'd love for young girls to be able to dream about being an athlete and it to be achievable.
Thanks to the Hilton funding my contract, it's allowed me to play the game that I love all day, every day.
We're like an engine and we need to be fueled with the right gas.
Without funding, we can't be visible. You can't be what you can't see.
As a team, it feels like we're breaking boundaries.
Thunder and Lancashire always want to put women's cricket at the forefront, and now I think that's really shining through.
It's mad to think that without the Hilton funding, like, we wouldn't be playing cricket every day, training.
Well, we could be, but we wouldn't have any money.
We wouldn't, yeah, true.
Welcome back to Emirates Old Trafford and to Bengaluru. The pictures live from Bengaluru, the commentary live from Emirates Old Trafford. Lancashire will be batting first in this hastily arranged T10 game against the Karnataka State Cricket Association 11. This game shoehorned in because Lancashire won the first game, first of 2 T20 games, so convincingly, bowling the hosts out for 45, chasing 46 down to win by 9 wickets. Liberty Heap and Alice Clark are opening the batting.
Yes.
I was going to say two players who had kind of limited opportunity in that first game. Clark was out early on, and Heap had only just come to the crease when the winning runs were hit. Early boundary for Heap, squeezed out to wide third. Good start, joined by Alison Byrne, former Lancashire and Cheshire women's captain. What did you make of the first game this morning?
Yeah, to be honest, I was a bit disappointed. I was a bit disappointed that Lancashire didn't have more to chase. We could have perhaps seen a little bit more of the batting action, but pleased that they've got this opportunity as well and another game to follow. Bowling was excellent though, wasn't it, from the Lancashire team?
Yeah, it was, and the fielding was as well. Something which can't be said for the Karnataka State Cricket 11 as a catch goes
Drop
down
catch.
there.
Tricky one there, that, isn't it? She's a tall girl to get quickly down to that one would have been very tricky.
That's missed by much.
She's riding her luck, is Liberty Heap, so far, isn't she? She's played one onto her ankle, she's had a drop catch and she's just swiped and missed one there.
Yeah, you can tell by the look on her face there's some frustration there.
Yeah, but these two, they must know each other well, having come through the academy together. Although Clark's a little bit older. They'll have played plenty of times together over the years.
And from the same region of the county
course,
as
yeah.
well. Alice from Burnley, from Accrington, and Libby from Lower House, which is just kind of short of Burnley on the M65, if you will.
Yep, Clark will be keen not to give a wicket away too cheaply after playing a rather rash shot in her first innings.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting one, this, isn't it? Because in a T10 game, you would expect to go hell for leather, from ball one in normal circumstances. But really, the main aim should be to just bat these 10 overs, and you would think that a score in the region of 60 or 70 would probably be enough.
Well, I would think so. That's a lovely shot, though. Down to square leg, picked that up nicely. She'd be annoyed that she's picked out the one fielder on that leg side boundary, though. Brings Clark onto strike.
Good shot for one.
Yeah, really annoying, though. Really annoying when you do that, isn't it? You get hold of it and you think, oh no, couldn't I just placed it 3 or 4, a couple of metres one way or the other? But one on the scoreboard keeps it ticking. Coming around the wicket. Oh, it's aerial. Left-hander squirted it down to that point boundary. Picks up 2. Lucky 2, got to say. It's just avoided the fielder there at on point.
What do you make of the new county-led structure, in a sense, of domestic cricket? It's changed from regional cricket after 5 years, hasn't it?
Yeah, as we watch the bowler come in for next delivery, it's wide of the off, given us a wide. But yeah, I'm full of hope for it, actually. I think what it has done is it's created a lot more opportunities for more professional contracts to be handed out, for one, which has only got to be a good thing to raise the overall standard of the women's game in this country, because more women will be allowed to follow their dream, if you like, and train professionally. So hopefully that will raise standards. Again, she's gone aerial with that one. Oh, and again, she's avoided the field. It's gone on the middle boundary. Has it just gone? Yes, it has. Another aggressive shot from Clark. But getting back to the point I was trying to make is also, I think the loyalty side of cricket is really important, isn't it? You know, you've got your county. It's not a conglomerate of other counties, so you can really get behind your team a little bit more. And it's opportunities for more people to see better quality cricket around different regions. So I hope it works. It's got to work, really, quite frankly, because there's been so many different possibilities over the last few years. People are getting fed up with the change and change back and change again. So for me, I think it's pivotal that we make it, when I say we, I mean the cricketing community and the bodies behind cricket, make this work.
It's another strong shot from Alice Clark. Another boundary as well.
Yeah, she doesn't like hanging around at the best of times, just Clark.
I mean, that comment that you made then, when you said it has to work, I was going to come at a slightly different angle and say, does it have to work because of England's failure this winter in the Ashes?
Well, it's partly what I was alluding to be honest, because we really do need the domestic season to start to booster our international fortune, and the two go hand in hand. You know, if you've got a successful England women's team, you've got more the base of your triangle, if you like, the participation triangle, and the spectator numbers rises, doesn't it? It's the same with most sports. If you have a successful national team, then the grassroots level will benefit. But I think in women's cricket, I think it's a little bit of both. You've got to get that base a bit stronger in order to support the international side. I mean, we could sit here all day and debate that's another lovely shot there.
Flurry of boundaries,
It's, you know, they've got the right to open in these two. What they won't do is waste balls. They'll continue to you know, play the bad ball. That's a lovely shot, really is, straight through the covers.
Shot of the day so far.
I love that shot from Heap. She just plays it nonchalantly, doesn't she? Yeah, so it's going to benefit hopefully the national side and also the regions. But I mean, what I would like to see is a little bit more evidence of the international players being allowed to play some regional cricket. I think that's partly been the issue for me from as a player, not of an international standard, but certainly of a county standard. It would have frustrated me hugely if I wasn't playing much. It seems to me some of the players have played just internationals. So where do they get their confidence from if they're going in facing the world's best bowlers? If they haven't got runs under the belt already, where do they practice the psychological skills and the shot selection skills, which you can only really properly practice in match situations? If they're constantly playing Australia, India, West Indies, and they're not playing regional cricket.
It's a twofold thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
That when you think that, they have to play more cricket to improve themselves, these international players, as a wide is given by the umpire, moving Lancashire on to 24 for none in the third over. Alice Clark 11, Libby Heap 9. Yeah, they have to. These international players have to play to improve their own game, to build confidence, etc., etc. After what has clearly been a very disappointing winter, certainly a very disappointing second half of the winter. They performed quite well in South Africa, didn't they? Before Christmas. They also have to play to raise the standard of the domestic game.
Yep, definitely. I mean, one of the other things that wasn't happening 5-6 years ago is the amount of franchise cricket that's being played as well, and I wonder if that's had an impact on the health and well-being of some of our international players, where they just don't get a break. It's all year-round cricket. Yeah, financially that's great for the top players, isn't it? The Sophie Ecclestons, Nat Sitterbunds, etc., but those players are England's those type of players are England's mainstay, and if they're not coming to the international fold fully prepared, rested, eating healthy food, I know they're well looked after, these international players, but when they're with franchise cricket, they're travelling, they're on flights, they're here, there and everywhere, they're not eating the foods that perhaps they would have ordinarily ate if they're, in a home base. They're not sleeping regularly. You just don't know the effect it has on physiologically, and women are different to men. That they've got different physiological needs to men as well. And that is another aspect. I don't know whether that's been fully taken into account.
A little bit of a miscue from Alice Clark. The talk about all of the increased kind of opportunities around the world in franchise leagues, and there are so many now for the women's game, which is fantastic. The WPL has just finished over in India, but at some stage the county game and the domestic game in England has to be prioritised.
And I think that's the same for both men and women at the moment.
Absolutely.
I think it's perhaps been more into focus for women because professional cricket is relatively new to our community, the women's cricket community. So these questions haven't had to be asked before. So because it's new, people are asking the questions. But if you look at the state of county cricket for men in this country, it's disappointing, isn't it, to see games not being supported.
There's not enough international exposure within the domestic game, and it's been brought into more focus for the women's side of things, definitely, because of what's happened in Australia.
And I don't blame the players individually for taking the opportunities while they arise. My God, if I'd have had the opportunity to go and earn £35,000 for a couple of weeks' work, I'd have been biting there. £35,000 is the original, the hundreds sort of top wage limit for women. But I mean, like, some of our players are earning like £250,000 to go off and play in India for a month. Come on, who's going to say no to that? Nobody.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But, and it's a big but, bigger picture. How we manage that as a sport and as a community, I don't know. But it does need to be managed, because I do think that is started to be impactful on some of our top players. And we have got some fantastic players playing for England and in and around the fringes of England, and we should be doing better than we are. That's a nice ball, nice delivery there. He sort of got surprised a little bit there and had to jump into the shot slightly.
Yeah, just had to jam down on it, didn't
Yep.
she?
But when you've got young players like Liberty Heap and Alice Clark who can't pin down a regular place in your county side, and you look at them, you look at it 10, 15 years ago. Oof.
Oh, another drop.
Drop catch. That would have been some catch, though, to be
It
fair. My goodness, that fight, she really did wallop it, did Heap, and she can wallop it.
Second drop of the game so far, and I wonder whether the bowler's going straight off here.
Oh, that's unfortunate if she's injured herself.
No, she's carrying on.
Good on her.
So if you've just joined us, Lancashire are in the midst of a hastily arranged T10 game against the KSCA 11 out in Bengaluru, the Karnataka Cricket Association. Lancashire won a T20 game this morning very convincingly. They bowled the hosts out for 45 and chased the runs down for the loss of just 1 wicket. The game lasted in total just under 16 overs. So what they've done is they've decided to play a T10 game to increase the workloads, and then they will play the second T20 game as originally planned later in the day. So instead of 2 games today, you're getting 3.
Yeah, and Heap's just trying to play every single ball. She's, literally trying to whack the leather into obliteration here. She's trying to hoik one from wide in the off stump onto the mid wicket. Here we go, bang.
She
Gone
connects.
again. It's time over the covers. Yeah, that was the shot. She's laughing because that's the shot she should have played to the last ball that was wide of the off as well.
Yeah, so my early suggestion of just play it steadily, just play it normally, get some time at the crease.
Yeah, they're not listening to you,
no,
Graham.
No,
Yeah,
quite right. Never listen to me.
These 2 girls are not that. They're not built like that. It's good fun though. 33 for loss of no wicket after 4 overs. You take 8 and a quarter as your run rate at this stage, I think, with wickets in hand. And there's some big hitters still left in the tank. Ailsa Lister's no stranger to a 6, for example.
Yeah. So another, you go kind of 10 and over, which you would think is very realistic from here with all 10 wickets in hand. At least 10 and over, you're getting yourself to within striking distance of 100. I would wager that, well, Wasp is saying 1-2-1, so that would be
1-2-1. Okay, let me have a little think.
Yeah, realistic target for Lancashire. I would probably be thinking 110, 115 at this stage. I would think probably.
It's a nicely weighted shot off the back foot. She went to give it some welly, then decided against it, waited and played it down.
Yeah, so Saloni into the attack for the KSCA 11. Lovely warm day out in Bengaluru at the Allure ground.
I believe they've got 3 pitches there, haven't they? The oval. Which one they're on?
Well, I think they're on the main one.
So that'll be they're called platinum, gold and silver. I found out the other day, which I thought was rather sweet. So this must be the platinum pitch.
Yeah, this was. I mean, it was saying earlier on that Lancashire men's and women's squad were both out there last year at the same time. It hasn't happened this year. They've almost passed us as like ships in the night in Dubai. Really, Lancashire men started here last week.
Nice sweep.
And finished in Dubai, and are now back home in Manchester. And the women's squad started in Dubai and have headed out to India with their season starting a couple of weeks later than the men. it affords them the opportunity to just push that pre-season tour back ever so slightly.
It's aerial, and at last one's gone to hand. Had to happen. She didn't quite get hold of that the way she wanted to. It's Liberty Heat, but it was a good knock, 15 off 15. Rode her luck a little bit early on.
Initially, I wondered whether she'd caught that over the boundary rope, because there was a...
Slightly spliced, wasn't it? You could see as it came off the body, wasn't it? True strike.
A cap just confused me ever so slightly, having dropped a cap on the...
And the traffic cone in the background as well. But she was having to do a U-point turn, a 3-point turn or something around the traffic cone anyway.
Fee Morris has...
come to the crease, come to join the party. Very experienced bass, as we know, very capable of pushing this scoreline along.
Yeah, one of Lancashire's star performers over the last couple of years, Fee. She headed north from Western Storm, and in 2023 was her first season at Emirates Old Trafford, was Player of the Year.
Yeah, she had a great season. She came at the same time as Jatani, and they both had a real positive influence on Thunder. But she seems to really love it up here. She, you know, when I've heard her interviewed post-match last season, she's full of smiles when she talks about her time up in Manchester. She loves it.
She sure does. I think it was one of those moves that came at the perfect time, really, in her career, because things hadn't quite worked out at Storm, and she was wondering quite what the future held, and there's a run out. And
oh my goodness, what was that?
Fee's on her way.
What's going on there? Oh, poor Morris.
Oh no.
Literally walked up to the same end, and then who's called that? Oh, the coaches will be having a chat with that later on. Let's have a look again.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see the replay of that from straight on, won't it?
Right, Alice Clark's way back. It is Clark's call because it's gone behind Morris. It is Clark's call.
Yes, no, sorry, wasn't it?
I'd have just run Fee Morris. You'd have still been in, and Clark would have run herself out there because there was never a run on. But she did call it, and if I were you, I'd have just ran and said, "There you go, then lose your wicket." But she's nicer than me, though, is Fee Morris. She's too nice to do that.
36 for 2, Lancashire, and it looks like Eve Jones is heading to the crease. So it's been a positive day for the Red Rose so far. That was the only real kind of blot on the copybook, that moment. That was the only frustration so far.
Yeah. I doubt if Clark and Morris have actually ever batted together before. I can't remember a time when they've been in the crease together before. Can't see it happening again after that. No, it's one of those things, isn't it?
Yeah, it
happens at the best of them.
Yeah, we've all been there at various stages of our cricketing journeys.
Classic case of Morris, you know, fresh in. Perhaps wasn't quite as responsive to the call as she might have been. But, well, at least it gives an opportunity for Eve Jones to come in and get a few runs under her belt instead.
Yeah, Eve Jones. Again, Lancashire's new signing. One of their new signings anyway, returned to Emirates Old Trafford from Central Sparks. She played for Lancashire in the old KSL days. She captained the county side, just like Alison has done, and then moved down to the Midlands to play for the Sparks in the 5-year regional era, but has opted to come back up to to Emirates Old Trafford.
So actually, we've got 2 more things in common. We both play for Cheshire, and back in the day, before I played for Lancashire, I played for the old West Midlands, and I was a student down in Birmingham. That's quite amusing. Oh, another run out. Missed opportunity from the home side there. It's close. Clark must have had a holding her breath there. Oh no, I've done it again. No, this time she was a little bit slow off the mark. Jones took a quick single there.
Went to the wrong end, didn't it?
They did, yeah. Yeah, Clark was a bit slow to respond then. He's probably thinking, no, I'm not going to do it again. Ooh, that's well bowled. Beat the outside edge of Clark's bat there. Always gives you a bit of a sort of nervous few moments when you've been involved with a run out. I felt,
yeah.
You know, it just affects your concentration slightly, so your mind's still playing on it. You don't always refocus as quickly as you ought to.
You could, to a certain degree, tell by that shot then played to the last ball. That's more positive. Kind of chipped down to long on. Okay. 40 for 2 in the 6th over. Yeah, she was just feeling for it outside off stump a couple of balls ago, wasn't she?
Yeah.
You just almost got a feeling of a little bit of hesitation in her mind.
There's lovely palm trees in the background. It's beautiful, isn't it? Lush.
I was saying to Polly before that there were reports from Lancashire's men last week that there's snakes not too far.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. I think if there was a 6 hit into those palm trees, I think I'd be saying, yeah, you go for it.
Fielder's job. Off you go. Nice shot. Down to the point area. That's a good sliding stop from the home fielder there. And a good arm by the looks of it. Straight to the keeper on 1 bounce. As a captain and a keeper, you like to see those throws into the wicket keeper as accurate as you can. There's also flying things around. There's sort of moths and dragonflies and all sorts starting to appear.
Yeah, we're coming up towards the hottest part of the day in India.
Yeah, they do seem to be breathing quite heavily. Just sussing out where the fielders are, where the gaps are, which bowler's coming on, what's your tactics to each of the bowlers, and most importantly, whose call is it?
Well, I mean, there's no doubt that Karnataka are enjoying their best period of the day so far. It's been a fairly chastening experience for the home side.
Gowder into ball to Clark, left-handed. So I beg your pardon, Satish has come on. Not quite where Clark intended that one to go.
Oh, a bit of an inside edge there.
Yeah, a screen from the bowler. She knew she'd beaten it there. Still got a run.
Have you been to India before? Have you?
Do you know, I haven't, but I'm actually going to Nepal in December with a charity called Cricket Without Boundaries.
Okay, yeah.
Have you heard of them?
Yeah.
I was in Rwanda 2 years ago, did a tour there, cricket coaching, and I've literally just been accepted a couple of days ago to go to the one in Nepal in November. That's great charity, that, you know. If anyone listening who wants to get involved or become a volunteer or donate, basically they've got partnerships with the cricket communities over there. Send a gang of coaches over with masses of equipment, going to different communities and deliver coaching sessions in areas quite often where they've never even seen cricket before. alongside health messaging as well. So currently the two major themes that were going on in Rwanda when I was last there are AIDS awareness and gender and diversity equality. So yeah, we deliver the coaching sessions, and it's just joy. It's hard work. I mean, we coached, it was a team of 8 of us. In Rwanda we coached 6,000 children in 2 weeks in various schools. And then of course there's coach education as well. The coaches coach the help to educate the local coaches, and then what we leave there is carried on then through a network of local coaches. So not only does it give some children an opportunity, but it's filtering down into communities and using cricket as a social tool. And fantastic to see the joy on those youngsters' faces, you know, just enjoying just having fun through playing cricket, communicating through cricket, and sharing a shared experience.
I think Kenya's been a destination.
Kenya, Uganda.
Yeah. That's a good shot from.
Lovely shot.
Yeah, that was a cracking shot from Alice Clark.
So Nepal is a new country. They've only been there. I think this will be the third project, I think, in Nepal. So yeah, I'm really excited. So, although it's not India, it's that neck of the woods, if you like. So I'm looking forward to that greatly. Yeah.
A little bit of winter sun, but hard-working winter sun by the sounds of it.
Winter sun. It'll be 18 degrees when I go November. That's their summer up in the Himalayas.
It's winter sun compared to what it is in the UK
Yeah,
at that time of year. I can tell you that.
That's true. That is very true. Polly, look, you're really cold. You're about to come and join us. It's not warm in this studio, is it? No, have you got your little hot water bottle under your hoodies? And Jones and Clark's moved on to 29 while we've been gabbing away. I'm so sorry. We've taken our eyes off the ball. It's 50 for 2. Jones is still on 2 and Clark's moved nicely on to 29. We're into the end of the 7th over. 3 overs left to go. I think you're going to be a little bit off your 1-2-1 estimate there for 10 overs.
Yeah,
so
it does
slowed down a little bit, didn't it? Fair play to the home team though. They've really tightened it up.
Jones advances and pinches the single. A little bit of a fumble from mid-off. Yeah, they have come back well, Connecticut.
So I'm going to love you and leave you, and I'm going to be joined by Polly Starkey.
51 for 2, the Red Rose, after 7 overs. Say, if you're just joining us, we were supposed to have 2 games today, now there's 3. What's happened is it was scheduled to be 2 T20s. The first one was played this morning, starting at UK time, 3:30. Lancashire won it by 9 wickets, chasing just 46. The game lasting in total less than 16 overs. So what they've done with the idea of getting miles in the legs, time at the crease, overs in the bowlers, all that kind of stuff, is they've shoehorned a T10 game in, and another T20 will be played later on. So we're in the midst of the T10 game, so 3 overs remaining in Lancashire's innings. As another 2 is scampered.
Good to see Alice Clark among the runs.
Yeah, she's played nicely, involved in that run out, but say that happens to every cricketer at some stage or other. As Jones threads the needle. Probably looking at a score in the region of 90 now, aren't we? I think that'll be between 90 and 100.
Yeah, the Wasp is saying 119, but I suspect they won't get that far.
What have you made of the Connecticut comeback? In a sense, it's been fairly spirited in the last 20 minutes, half an hour or so.
Yeah, it's been really positive, particularly compared to their performance in the first game. They've shown a bit of fight, and yeah, I think some of their fielding, for example, has been pretty good, taking advantage of, you know, for example, the confusion earlier with the run out, actually leaping on those opportunities, which perhaps they didn't really take in the first game. So it has been better from them, and from a bowling perspective, I think they've kind of shown a bit more of what they can do so far. Whether they'll be able to chase the total down or come close to it is a different question. But I think they'll definitely have a good go at it, and their batters showed some promise early on. So even just getting a couple of boundaries in the tank will make a difference for them.
Arrow straight from Eve Jones. That's a super shot.
That is textbook Eve Jones. That is a really nice shot. 63 for 2. That's the penultimate ball of the over approaches.
A green tinge to the pitch, and the kind of flurry of morning wickets doesn't really tell the story of this pitch. It looks a good pitch. It looks true. And with a fast outfield as well, you get value for your shots.
Eight overs gone, 64 for 2. So 2 overs remaining in this T10 has been sandwiched in between the two games, as the first T20 wrapped up rather quickly with Lancashire winning. So have this quick T10 and then on to the second T20.
Yeah, I think the initial kind of schedule had the second game starting at 7:30 UK time. Whether that will remain the same, we're not 100% sure. So we'll bring you up to date with that as and when we get the word. But as for now, there are 12 overs remaining in this T10 game. Time, well, 6 o'clock UK, so I suspect that T20 game, that second game, will probably get pushed back. I think the players will have some lunch in between. Was that a catch?
It looked like it was going quite low, but potentially that was a catching opportunity. We'll see the replay here. Yeah, it was slightly short of the fielder. A decent attempt.
Jones eases that one out to a deepish point, not deep point, but just halfway in between the regulation position and the boundary rope.
Alice Clark on 30 from 23, Eve Jones 18 from 11.
I was going to ask the question, can Alice Clark get to a 50, but I suspect it's probably just a little bit of a stretch.
I mean, if she was on strike for, I mean, Eve Jones has now got the strike, but I mean, mathematically she could, I think.
Well, that doesn't
very
help, of
unlikely.
course. It helps Lancashire's cause, but doesn't help Alice Clark's
No.
cause to get to 50. I'm not so sure she'll be particularly bothered about that.
No. I think if she can finish not out and maybe get a couple more boundaries, and that will be equally as good.
It's been a bit of a strange performance from the KSCA 11 here. They had a decent period through the middle of their innings, but the fielding hasn't been particularly great. A couple of drop catches. One was a tough chance, drilled back at the bowler. But the ground fielding has left a little bit to be desired as well.
Yeah, I do always think with teams that the kind of best way to see the difference in ability, I think, is often by the fielding. I think if you've got a really sharp fielding unit, that says something about the side, and it kind of demonstrates how cohesive the team are, and just kind of the general standard. So I think that's probably the biggest difference. And obviously for Lancashire, you know, they're a professional side. They have a lot of time dedicated to practicing fielding. So I think in a situation like this, the opposition's fielding will get exposed quite a bit. But saying that, it hasn't been all bad. But yeah, I think this is just an example of where, yeah, fielding does really get exposed, especially when you have two decent batters at the crease. Of course, there have been opportunities which haven't been taken by the home side, but they're a developing team. I imagine they probably have quite a few young players, but I mentioned earlier on just the opportunities for domestic cricket in India now are incredible. You think about the WPL and the success, and potentially some of these girls could go on to play for one of those sides in a few years' time.
Yeah, so opportunities like this to play against Lancashire will be most welcome.
Into the final over of this T10 game.
Clark gets that one away between long on and deep mid-wicket, both converging. Moves to 35, Lancashire 70. Is it 78 or 82? Wait to see the scorecard. 78 for 2 with 4 balls left.
They grab a quick single. There was a shot at the stumps there, which, if on target, would have been a run out. But Clark makes it back.
I do actually wonder whether the fielder had enough time actually to get to the stumps there.
Yeah.
They certainly had enough time to get very close to the stumps.
I mean, because Clark hesitated running, so I reckon so.
Just those are the things that just need to be improved upon from the KSCA 11. Just that little bit more composure. As Eve Jones takes full toll on that delivery. Full from Satish. Hammered down the ground.
.83 for 2. Eve Jones 28 not out from 15 balls. It's been a very good innings by the new signing.
Doesn't matter how they come.
Back-to-back boundaries for Jones as the final ball of the innings approaches for Lancashire. .87 for 2. Partnership of 51 runs from 30 balls.
been a far more competitive affair, this 10 overs in the first game. Jones heaves that away. That's another drop. 88. Lancashire finish on 88 for 2. And the partnership of 52 between Alice Clark, who's batted right the way through this innings, and Eve Jones, the more experienced left-hander. So there we go. Lancashire 88 for 2. Liberty Heat 15 from 16 deliveries. Alice Clark 36 not out from 26. Fee Morris run out. It was a mix-up between herself and Alice. Unfortunately, it did for the all-rounder. And Eve Jones 33 not out off 17 balls in this T10 game that has been arranged because of Lancashire's excellence in the opening T20 this morning. 2 games scheduled. That's what we were expecting at the start of the day. Lancashire hammered the KSCA 11 in that first T20, and because of that they decided to play some more overs and play a T10 game. So we'll have the Indian chase and then the second T20 coming up as we see the highlights of Lancashire's first innings. If you, what did you make of Lancashire's performance in that innings with the bat?
Yeah, I mean, I think potentially could have got a few more runs, but I think they did well to prevent too many wickets. And in terms of Eve Jones and Alice Clark, I thought they batted pretty well. So good from Lancashire, and what they'll want to do is back it up with the ball and put a similar performance in to what they did this morning.
Yeah, I mean, I was particularly impressed with Alice in the sense that she was obviously involved in that run out, which seemed to just kind of knock her confidence ever so slightly, just momentarily. But she put that to the back of her mind and really kicked on from it, and showed what she can offer Lancashire going forward. We haven't seen a great deal of her in senior cricket. She's been around a while now, but hasn't had a massive amount of opportunity, but hopefully 2025 will provide that for her.
Yeah, and I guess these are the things that you're ironing out in pre-season. Those run-outs it's a communication thing, and so actually getting players to play together a bit more, and for someone like Alice who hasn't had much time out in the middle with her Lancashire teammates, it's a good opportunity for her to get a bit of game time. And yeah, a little bit frustrating, but in the context of the game, it didn't matter in the end, and Alice backed up with a decent batting performance, and of course Eve Jones came in and finished the job. So yeah, a good first innings for Lancashire, and I imagine with the depth of bowling they have, that they should sail on. But you know, we don't know what the home side will come out with in terms of batting, and whether they'll really be swinging for it and try and chase that total down.
Well, we shall see in around about 5-10 minutes time. We shall be back with you then for the chase. Lancashire defending 89 in this T10 game out at the Allure Oval in Bangalore, and we shall be back with you very shortly.
When I was a kid, there was no professional women's cricket. I didn't even think that women could be professional sports people.
Especially early on, it just didn't really seem like there was a career in it.
To support myself around cricket, I had to work at the petrol garage.
I was the only girl, so I stood out.
I'd love for young girls to be able to dream about being an athlete and it to be achievable.
Thanks to the Hilton funding my contract, it's allowed me to play the game that I love all day, every day.
We're like an engine and we need to be fuelled with the right gas.
Without funding, we can't be visible. You can't be what you can't see.
As a team, it feels like we're breaking boundaries.
Thunder and Lancashire always want to put women's cricket at the forefront, and now I think that's really shining through.
It's mad to think that without the Hilton funding, like we wouldn't be playing cricket every day, training.
Well, we could be, but we wouldn't have any money.
We wouldn't, yeah, true.
All the fun and all the games, they all start here with All Stars Cricket. All new experiences for everyone, all over the country. Every session is all-out action, all the time. All are welcome, all invited, even mums and dads. Skills, friendships, smiles, dreams, it all happens here. All you need is delivered right to your door. Best of all, it even has your name on it. All the activators are fully trained. And all they want is for us to have a great time. Always. Surf, ball, catch, throw, try it all. It's time to go all in, all together. And it all starts with All Stars. All you need to get started is at allstarscricket.co.uk.
1864. We were first class then, and we're first class now. With a dream to spread cricket through Lancashire's towns, where girls and boys, with willow and leather, become more than a badge, but the red rose together.
A club where more than legends are made, but friendships, obsessions, moments replayed on our screens, in our minds, in our hearts forever. 'Cause it's who we are, our DNA, the red rose together.
Statham, Briggs, Jimmy, Freddie and Joss Chappie, Sir Clive Lloyd, Carol Hodges, Kate Cross. What a roll call. It's a hard one to measure, with future names still to be written on the red rose together.
We're all about people. It's what the red rose really means. Yeah, the ones signing autographs, but the ones behind the scenes.
Our community, grassroots, the ones that feel tethered. Whether you're from here or belong here, we're the red rose together.
And what about this place? Talk about world-class venues. Internationals, gigs, events. You can choose from a menu of triumph, of disaster, of pain, or pleasure.
We've seen it all at Emirates Old Trafford, with the red rose together.
Red ball, white ball, lightning and thunder.
Have you ever sat back? Have you ever just wondered how far we've come? The storms we've weathered, or how far we'll go as the red rose together.
Welcome to the opening day. Oh, that is a wonderful shot.
I was a kid, there was no professional women's cricket. I didn't even think that women could be professional sports people.
Especially early on, it just didn't really seem like there was a career in it.
To support myself around cricket, I had to work at the petrol garage.
I was the only girl, so I stood out.
I'd love for young girls to be able to dream about being an athlete and it to be achievable.
Thanks to the Hilton funding my contract, it's allowed me to play the game that I love all day, every day.
We're like an engine and we need to be fueled with the right gas.
Without funding, we can't be visible. You can't be what you can't see.
As a team, it feels like we're breaking boundaries.
Thunder and Lancashire always want to put women's cricket at the forefront, and now I think that's really shining through.
It's mad to think that without the Hilton funding, like, we wouldn't be playing cricket every day, training.
Well, we could be, but we wouldn't have any money.
We wouldn't, yeah, true.
Welcome back to the coverage of Lancashire Women's pre-season tour. They are out in India, and this is the second innings of the T10 between Lancashire and the KSCA. So Lancashire batted first, set a total of 88 for 2, and so the KSCA will be chasing that down. It was a good innings from Lancashire with Eve Jones and Alice Clark among the runs. And they'll be hoping for another good bowling performance, backing up their win in the first T20. And following this game, they'll have another T20. But they've squeezed this T10 in after the success in the first game. Ali, what do you think of how it's gone so far?
I think it's a good total. Let's make no bones about it. It's going to be really tricky for the home side to chase it. Having said that, you've got to be impressed with the bowling team's comeback, if you like, because at one point it looked like Lancashire were going to run away and get over 100 runs. I mean, my esteemed colleague was predicting 121 at one point, and I wasn't disagreeing with him too greatly, to be honest. So to actually chase 88 seems a lot less daunting. After watching them play in the first innings as well, they're not frightened to go for their shots either. And luck is a funny old thing, and at some point it does sort of, it runs out. And I think Lancashire, sorry, not Thunder anymore, are we? Have had a little bit of luck in the field with some of their shots going astray and hitting and missing. So maybe, just maybe, Lady Luck will be on the side of the home team this time and make it a much closer run thing than the score might suggest. I think it does involve the top 4 batters staying in a little bit longer though, so although it is 8 and a bit and over, they can't afford just to be getting out in 2 or 3 overs. I mean, 10 overs, it's 60 balls. If you get out after 6 or 7 balls, you're not helping your side very much in that respect. So looking forward to see how they approach this innings.
Yeah, as you say, from the first game we could kind of tell there were some batters who wanted to go for those big shots and they didn't really get the rewards for it, and perhaps they didn't aim it correctly or there wasn't enough power, all these things. So I guess this is their opportunity to slightly rectify that, and I guess it is a chance to try and trace it down. T20 does lend itself to being a little bit, T10 even, to be a bit more explosive, but that does come with the risk. And I guess we saw from the first innings that wasn't very successful. It looks like Sophie Morris is going to start the bowling, which I'm sure the batters are frustrated to see her back again, and she poses a real challenge.
She sure doesn't, because she's accurate, that's the thing. She bowls wicket to wicket, doesn't she? And you've got to be absolutely sure of your shot when you take that bowler on, because if you miss, she will hit. So first ball's nice and accurate from Sophie. Oh, that's a good strike. Where's that gone? That's perfect. In fact, that's exactly what we wanted. She's hit that straight and true over the head of the bowler, 4 runs.
Yeah, completely fearless, despite the fact Sophie Morris got a double wicket maiden from her first over in the first game. Just really taken her on. Really nice strike.
Yeah. And the difference is she's hit through the line there. A couple of the early wickets in the first innings, the first game, they were playing across the line somewhat. And again, ooh, well watched, because that span back towards the wickets there just for a moment. Her heart would have been in her mouth, but perfect. Straight shot for 4. Next ball's accurate. Dot ball. Classic.
It looks like Ellie Threlkeld also has a helmet cam on, so we might see some footage from Ellie Threlkeld's perspective.
Ah, you mean a helmet with a camera?
Yeah.
Is that Threlkeld or is it Alice Clark?
It might be. In fact,
no,
it's Elsa Lister.
There you go.
Yeah, it's Elsa Lister.
I didn't think it was Threlkeld. Threlkeld's quite tall, isn't she?
Yeah, and of course she wears hockey, like shin pads instead of wicket-keeping pads which Lister has on.
An opportunity for Lister, but that one's wide. She managed to get something behind it.
So yeah, Lister was down to keep in the second game, so perhaps she'll continue doing that, but also just give her a chance in the T10.
Of course, we're blessed with keepers as well, aren't we? There's Lister, there's Clark, of course Smale is a keeper as well.
They really aren't short of keepers.
No, but you know, they're going to have to do some to displace Ellie Threlkeld. And we're just trying to see where Ellie Threlkeld is fielding, because that will be an unusual scenario for her, captaining the side from the field instead of behind the stumps. Of course, she'll get a very different view of these scenarios. Can't see her at the moment. Let's see who can spot her first.
Yeah.
Play a little game, Polly.
It's like, where's Wally, but where's Ellie Threlkeld?
5p to the person who spots Ellie Threlkeld in the field first.
5p, okay.
Just 5p. Don't let me go
Perfect.
crazy over this. Bit short. Oh, now she will see that's an opportunity miss. Although it's gone down as a wide, they're the sort of freebies where you really need to connect, especially in T10. You don't leave them. You go after them and give them a bit of tap if you can. It's a perfect response from Morris.
I guess there are minimal opportunities for Lister to keep, of course, within this side. She's got Ellie Threlkeld ahead of her, but then even in the Scotland side, you've got Sarah Bryce, who is also a fantastic keeper.
Who has done so well in the WPPL.
Exactly.
She really shone, didn't she, in her role within that team?
Yeah,
Was it the Giants she played for?
I think so.
Yeah, so she would have been in the playoffs.
Yeah, so it's difficult because actually in both teams she plays for, there's not necessarily an easy way. And even in the 100 for Birmingham Phoenix, you've got Amy Jones keeping. So it's an almost kind of impossible situation for her.
Threlkeld is unlikely to get too many games, is she? And where's she gone for the 100 for the 100? She's not.
I should know this. She's departed Manchester
gone,
Originals.
Yeah, I mean, I think that partly is because we've got Originals have got Beth Mooney, who obviously is a top keeper as well.
I think she might have gone to Trent Rockets.
Oh yes, you're right, she has. Here comes Graham, who bowled well in the game in Dubai. Not that I saw it, but I saw her figures, and she took a few wickets. Polly, did she bowl particularly well?
Yeah, she bowled really well. I was impressed with her because she's had kind of spells in and out of the team. I know she went on loan to Western Storm, I think it was 2 seasons ago. But no, I thought she bowled really well and put in a really good performance. I think she got 3 wickets in the end.
Yeah, she did. 3 for 20, I think. And they've taken her on. Got lucky. There's that bit of luck we were talking about. Just for a squirty single, as I like to say. Squirty single.
7 without loss, 82 runs to win from the remaining 52 balls. Lancashire yet to have a breakthrough.
But it's a much better start. Morris hasn't got 2 wickets, for example. In comes Graham, purposeful stride. That's a lovely looking shot through the covers. Didn't try and overhit that. It's racing away, it's racing away. Is she going to get there? Just about. Great slide from
Darcy Carter out there.
Trying to remember her name. I knew it was one of the Scottish contingents, but she's one of our newer acquisitions to the Lancashire team. But the height served her well there. Slid with those big long legs and long levers. There's a few people in the crowd enjoying the day, taking a few souvenir snaps. In comes Graham from her 4th ball of her first over today. It's a little bit short, rushed the batter. She's hoiked it to mid-wicket, and actually out of nothing she's got 4 runs. Which is indicative of how this pitch has played, to be honest with you. It seems to come onto the bat quite well, and you get your value for money for your shots.
Yeah, speedy outfield.
Not the biggest of grounds compared to some of the grounds that these players will be playing on during the summer. Old Trafford, for example, is behind us is a lot bigger pitch, I feel. At least we don't have snakes in the outfield like I was told that there would be lurking in those bushes earlier on by Graham. I wasn't too impressed with that. We have a few snakes, but they're not the slithery variety.
Maybe at one of the outgrounds they've got a couple of grass in Blackpool, some grass snakes.
Grass snakes in Blackpool, you mad?
You never know.
Crackers. You might get somewhat further north in the Lake District.
Yeah, that's
I've
true.
actually seen an adder in the Lake District.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I was a PE student years ago, and we used to go up to Coniston to do an outdoor pursuits thing, and we did orienteering one day, and I'm like tying my shoelaces up, having an excuse not to run, as this one's hooked down to deep fine. Good shot. Yeah, they're not frightened to take their shots on. As I'm tying my shoelace, this little brown thing scutters past. I'm like, oh, it's a little grass snake. And the guy who was leading the session said, no, come away, that's an adder. Okay.
Wow. I went all the way to Australia and I didn't see a snake at all whilst I was there. I could have just gone to the lakes.
Snakes follow me, obviously. Met a few snakes in my time, which I won't go into detail. You don't need to know my history. Anyway, it's 17 for no loss, and the home side are... oh, look at those palm trees.
Looks glorious.
Wow. Oh.
To be fair, we have a nice sunrise here.
There's a potted plant over there. I'll have to make do with that.
Yeah, we've got a bit of foliage behind you.
Yeah, it actually is looking a bit nicer out there now. The sun's trying to come out here in Manchester. Don't think it's quite going to match Bangalore, but for Manchester, it's going to be a glorious day, I feel. Yeah, 17 for 0. They'll be happy with this start. And here comes, looks like Fee Morris is coming on to bowl. She'll be looking to contribute to this game somewhat more than she did in the first innings. Bit of height, full toss, made it into a full toss. It just avoided the fielder there. That's a bit of luck we were talking about earlier. That's going to go for 4. They're riding their luck at the moment, the home side.
Yeah, they're doing well. It's been a very good start for them.
And actually... oh yes, that was close, but she played it very well. Just gently guided it. I doubt if she meant to guide it quite so carefully towards the fielder, but there you go. She's moved her feet, she's gone for that again. That's a lovely driven shot on the off. 4 runs.
Yeah, that was a good shot. Use of the feet and just guided it. Not tons and tons of power, but just got enough to get it over the boundary, looking for the gaps in the field.
Oh, Fee Morris's day's not started well, has it?
No.
Come on, Fee. Oh, that's another one. That's gone for 6. Do believe if that traffic cone was... yeah, they're fist pumping. It must have gone for 6. It was a big hit. Deserved a 6 anyway. The ball deserved being hit for 6 in all honesty, didn't it? That's it's not her finest moment. Good shot.
Yeah, I'm usually the first to praise Fee Morris as an all-rounder, but this isn't the finest performance she's had with battle ball. But that happens. That's cricket. A better ball from her here, not going for a boundary, as the score ticks over to 32 without loss.
Game on.
Yeah, 57 runs to win with 44 balls. So
it's very doable.
Exactly. They're not in a bad position here, with Satish on 14 and Dinesh on 16.
Yeah. So of course Morris would have had lots of overs in the nets, but of course this is their first match series, if you like, this tour of the season. Yeah, she's struggling for a rhythm at the moment. She's gone again for 6, is it? No, it's bounced and plugged.
Yeah, just falls short of the boundary.
Fielded by Jones, I think. Eve Jones for 2. Very profitable over so far for the home side.
I mean, this is the sort of batting we wanted to see from the KSCA side in the first game. Just a bit more fire, but that being successful as well. Like, they're playing some expansive shots, but they're doing it very successfully and in a slightly non-risky way. So, I mean, from a competitive perspective, I hope they can replicate that in the second T20.
Yes, yeah. But having said that, Morris has bowled a dot ball to finish, which will please her, and I'm hoping Threlkeld will give her another over, because the last thing you want to do is leave it on that. She'll be keen to put things right. 34 off 3, 11 and a bit and over, 11 and a third and over actually, if my maths serves me right. 11.33333333 recurring, Caroline. Yeah, which is more than the necessary run rate, so they're ahead of the game at this point. They're bringing on Emma Lamb to bowl. It's nice to be able to say that.
Yeah.
Lamb's coming on to bowl.
Yeah. Successful in the first T20. And she'll be looking to continue that now.
I still feel though that yes, they've got a lot of runs from that over, but partly because Morris hadn't found her rhythm yet.
Yeah.
So she was struggling with length, particularly length on that one. It was either over pitched or too short. So it was, dare I say it, a little bit of buffet involved, a bit of buffet bowling. Fee Morris would be the first to recognise that, I'm sure. But yeah, so it's good because it sets us up for an interesting match. But I hope the home side don't get overconfident. If Lamb can, there you go. See, on the nail, defensive shot.
It's those futuristic sunglasses that are making the difference for Lamb.
Obviously, it's the radar sonar system honing in. She looks like she's about to go scuba diving, to be honest. She's expecting a bit of rain.
You've always got to be prepared.
Bit short that one. We've got 2 on that leg side for protection, which makes sense in a T20 slog, when quite often players will aim for cow corner, as we call it.
I'm sure Sophie Eccleston had some similar ones last season, but the kind of like visor of it was really bright pink. So it probably like dazzled the batter as she was bowling, which, that could be why she's the key to her success. So I think we should all get some really, really bright sunglasses just to distract the batter.
I remember once bowling with a wristband on it. These sweatbands you can get, And back in the day at the county championships, and a very old fuddy-duddy umpire told me I had to take the wristband off. It was white as well. It's distracting the batter. Is it really? Okay. Times have changed.
.36 without loss.
Oh, those coaches, they're having a horrible time, aren't they? Look at them.
Must be absolutely exhausting to be walking around the boundary in the sun.
Short, pulled. Again, that fielder over there has been kept busy. In fact, that fielder, I got 5p, was Ellie Threlkeld.
Was it?
Number 21, there you go.
I'm sure it was Fee Morris that just fielded.
Was it 21 or 31?
31, which is Fee Morris.
You can have the 5p back. definitely.
Yeah, I wasn't going to let you get that 5p.
Darn it. That's me getting the bus on.
Potentially, Ellie Threlkeld might not be on the field.
Well, that's what I was thinking, because hold on a minute.
Because she didn't bat. So...
Who would be skipper, do you think?
Ooh.
Lamb?
Yeah, maybe Emma Lamb or Eve Jones. I mean, Eve Jones captained Central Sparks for 5 years, so has plenty of experience.
Okay, who you think? I'm going to go Lamb, you go Jones, and we'll have another side bet on that one at the end of this game.
Another 5p.
It's a nice little manufactured shot, and Lamb's fielding off her own bowling. She's looking sprightly, good to see. 39 of 4 at the end of this over, and the scorers seem to think Fee Morris is getting another over. I hope they're right.
So 50 runs to win, 36 balls remaining, so it's still possible for KSCA.
And there's a tree for everybody to look at. Marvellous. To go with all the lovely greenery.
Oh, we have had a lot of very nice shrubbery to look at throughout the game.
Indeed. Makes you think your summer holidays. Right, good. They've given Fee Morris another over. Good decision, skipper. Pre-season, you want to build your players with confidence, not tear them down. Well bowled. Darcy Carter again, being kept busy. Although that went for a run, the batter actually had to make something of that ball rather than have it fed to her on a plate, so well bowled Fee Morris. Now that was another thing we'd have got told off for back in the day, wearing dark trainers to play in. Oh dear.
Had to wear white.
Oh my goodness, we couldn't even wear... Yeah, had to be spikes as well. And we had to play in little stupid culottes.
I was going to say, were you playing... Yeah. I imagined you in the skirt era.
No, well, you can imagine as much as you like. It wasn't a pretty sight. Again, oh, well bowled, and great take from Lister behind the stumps there. She's got a bit of turn there, did Morris? That's a good comeback from Fee Morris.
Yeah, definitely in her rhythm a bit more.
There you
got
go.
a smile on her face.
The smile's back. She's got a great big smile on her. Look at that turn. I could almost hear the swish of the air from here as the batter swung at fresh air then. Satish, 18 or 15, going on long nicely. What can Morris do with this delivery? Bit short. Got away with it. Just gone for one.
So did you ever get to play in trousers, or was it always skirts?
I have played in trousers, but not since I retired from the county scene, no.
Because
I play all my county matches in skirts.
I can't remember what year
Can I just say they weren't skirts?
Okay.
They were culottes. That was worse.
Oh,
it wasn't
okay.
like it was a skirt with a pair of shorts.
Yeah.
It was attached.
Oh.
So it's like a scorty type of affair, but at a rather unusual and disgusting length. So you had these socks that went just below the knee, and the scorty skirts went just above the knee. So you spent the whole of your summer with
all the tan lines. Wow.
A zebra tan line.
Wow.
Classic. And
quite something.
No skin on your knees.
Ooh.
That's another, and as we say that, the home side have notched up another 4 off poor old Morris's bowling there. And another one that's a little bit short. She's really gone for a shot there, but again, cover on that leg side boundary. Taken by the bowler. Good throw in from Lamb.
46 scored and 46 from 29.
Yep. This is going to be tight at the end.
Yeah, they're making a game of it.
This is the key, isn't it? Keeping these opening pair in. Flighted. Again, a little bit of a hoik across the line. It's going to get there. Great take out in the deep.
That's only
that's out. I thought she was out there. Oh, we'll have to share the 5p there, Polly. We spotted her just at the same time. 5p each. We spotted your skipper. Why is the captain fielding on the boundary? This is my question.
I don't know. She
Okay.
wants to get some
Her
diving
choice.
practice in.
It's her choice. She can
Yeah.
put herself wherever she likes. But I, for one, would never be out there as captain. A, I wasn't very good on the boundary. And B, I'm far too lazy to do that job.
Well, Ellie Threlkeld is a true professional.
She is. She would
Doing all
not
the
ask her
hard
troops
work.
to do anything that she won't do herself.
Exactly.
Failed as a captain.
I guess for her, she doesn't get many opportunities to
Yeah.
actually be in the field, so maybe just test it all out while she's there.
Well, you could tell there was some sort of, rolling ability there, the way she fielded that. Now, I very wisely fielded at slip. Most of the time when we had Laura McLeod steaming in from Sarah Collier, which were my two main bowlers when I was captain. I was very blessed, so I could quite often stay at slip or gully when Laura was bowling. And failing that, I'd be a short mid-wicket or something like that, something stupid like that. Great take from Lister. That throw had been a bit more accurate. They'd have really struggled there.
.48 without loss. Satish on 21, Dinesh on 25. No wickets have fallen yet.
Oh, look at this.
Replay.
Yeah. Just needed to be a metre closer to the stumps, didn't it? But, this is T20. They're going to run, T10, they're going to run for everything, aren't they, at this stage? So they only need 41 to win.
Emma Lamb continuing her spell.
She went quite wide of the stumps there, which is a bit surprising. I'd like to see her get a bit tighter to the stumps, a bit more wicket to wicket. So she's plastered her helmet with some sort of covering of a sponsor maybe. She's been told to cover it up, who knows.
.49 without loss. 40 runs to win from the remaining 26 balls.
Sliced.
And that would have helped them. Not quite a boundary, as they've got, I think that was maybe Danny Collins there on the boundary.
Yeah, it's neck and neck really, isn't it, this?
The 50's up for KSCA.
Yeah, I'm not sure I like this going around the wicket. Good 4, another pull shot there, free shot, gone down leg. It's a free swipe every time.
Discussion there, I think, between Eve Jones and Ellie Threlkeld.
Sure it's Ellie Threlkeld, not Fee Morris?
Definitely Ellie Threlkeld.
She's not bringing herself onto bowl, is she? Go on, Ellie.
She's like, I'm not wicket keeping.
Go
I'm
on,
going
Ellie,
to
do
field
it.
on the boundary, have a little bowl.
Have a go.
Just in case.
Oh, wouldn't that be fabulous if she
that'd
did?
be brilliant. It's going to be Hannah Rainey.
Oh, the vet.
She's going to have a bowl. It's very selfless of Ellie Threlkeld to bring Hannah Rainey on instead of herself. Yeah.
Yeah, but she's such an athlete. I wouldn't put it past her to be able to bowl beautifully. She must now and again bowl in the nets, surely.
Yeah.
Right. Hannah Rainey had a mixed bag of bowling, if I recall, in the first game. Her first couple of overs were definitely pre-season tour standard, and pulled it right back and eventually going to wicket as she comes into bowl her first over in this T20. Unfortunately, that's a full toss. It's been given some welly. Is it plugged? It's plugged in the outfield, and it's been gathered up before it reached the boundary. Good shot. She'd be disappointed that didn't go for a boundary. So Rainey needs to focus on her length here, I believe. Score's moved on to 56, still 33 to win off 23 balls as the ball has been passed back to the bowler. She's fiddling around with her field a little bit. And as we're joined in the commentary box by our Graham. Hello, our Graham, how are we?
Not so bad, thank you. Yourself?
Good. What are your thoughts on this one?
It's been a
bit
good
tighter,
game,
isn't it? Yeah.
It's going to be a good finish.
Rainey's steaming in, a little bit fuller. Again, she's driven it straight down the ground, but there's fielder in place. 1 run.
I would still just about back the ball, but that a lot of that is what we saw this morning, really.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a product of that.
I think the thing is, when you look at the what's on offer from the Lancashire point of view in terms of bowling, we've still not seen much of Hannah Jones, for example. Phoebe Grain's only bowled 1 over, so if things did get tight, I suppose they could turn up the gears a little bit and bring on their proven performance. That's an absolutely lovely little leg dance down to the fine leg boundary. And it's Phoebe Grain in futile pursuit.
What's the usual kind of? It's 2 overs, isn't it, per bowler in the
in a T10
in a kind of normal competitive in competition T10.
Never played a competition T10.
No.
Mine.
They seem to have cropped up all over the world nowadays, don't they?
Yeah, I think Graham's only had 1. That's a nice shot again. You see, they're full of confidence, these two. 25 and 35, the opening pair have, respectively.
Yeah, it's a world away from what we saw at very first thing this morning, isn't it?
Yeah, I think maybe the nerves got the better of them in the first game, but they're certainly proving why they are opening the batting in this particular segment of the day. Satish has moved on to 25 of her 21 deliveries, and Dinesh 35 of just 19 deliveries, so you can see where the damage is being done here. $27 to win. 20 balls remaining, so still need about 7 and over, don't they? 7 or 8. Rainey. Fuller, leg side wide, and buys.
Yeah, those kind of things don't help the Lancashire cause.
And Liston, she should have perhaps snaffled that up. The Scottish combo not combining particularly brilliantly there.
Yeah, there was immediate frustration, wasn't there, from Ailsa Lister? You could see that.
I think that was an attempted slower ball from Rainey as well, just by the movement of the hand. Didn't quite work for her. Yeah.
Well, this over has really changed the complexion of things, hasn't it? We've gone from potentially just favouring Lancashire to the KSCA 11 being
that's
overwhelming
go as
favourites.
Well, that's another 4. Well played, well played. Taking her opportunity well there. Rainey's, yeah, she's a bit sporadic at the moment. She hasn't quite got her rhythm. Too short, too wide. Fielder didn't really have much of a chance there. So there you can see the bowling figures. Yeah, Lamb and Morris have both been the most economical so far. Sophie Morris still has an over left. Phoebe Graham has an over left. I'm not sure if Hannah Jones is in this 11. She could come on as well. That's skied. She doesn't like the look of it. Oh, Phoebe Morris, take a bow. What a catch is that? Now the smile's definitely back. That was stunning, and boy did Lancashire need that. We've seen her take a few of those over the last couple of 3 seasons, haven't we, Graham?
Yeah, well, we were talking the other day actually about how Fee really sets the standard in the field in this Lancashire side. It's something that she's really, really interested in, this aspect of the game. She's got her own. Oh. It's ended up being a one-handed catcher.
One-handed.
Yeah, she's gone two-handed, but it's ended up being a one-handed screamer.
Yeah. Sorry, you were saying she's got her own...
Well, she's got her own fielding business.
Yeah.
You know, which concentrates on the kind of the physics of fielding, you know, the mechanics of throwing and injury prevention and all that kind of stuff. And she goes into to schools and clubs, I think, coaching. I can't remember.
Because she's her background is physio and rehab, is it? Yeah, I thought so. It ties in quite well with her cricket in that respect, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You're gonna look something up now.
Oh, well, I would do, but I've left my phone in the office next door, so I just can't quite remember the name of it. I want to say it's the fielding. It's the fielding lab, maybe. Maybe I'm wrong.
Something lab, isn't it? If I give you my phone, you can have a little play and see if you can find it. There you go, my lovely. Meanwhile, we've got a new batter coming in. We don't know this particular batter's name as yet, but we'll let you know as soon as we can. And the score's moved on to 71 for 7. And there's a certain symmetry. 71 for 7 off 7. 18. Runs off 18 balls. You could not get any more symmetrical than that. It's a ball. It's a runner ball, in fact. Now, at this point, normally I would favour the batting side, but when you've got Sophie Morris bowling at you, such as that, you're going to get dot balls, which is what she's produced. Well bowled, Sophie Morris.
The Throwing Academy.
That's Academy.
It. Throwing Academy.
Well done. Nice plug for Fee's business again. Batter's moved away there. Oh, there is a slight misfield there. It was a difficult one, but it's gone for 4. These are the margins that separate victory from defeat. It was a great diving effort to try and prevent that from going for 4. And it just slid under the fielder's fingers there if you watch it again. She made room for the shot beautifully. And it's just bounced awkwardly in front of her, hasn't it? That's a tricky one. Good shot. Good shot. Now, what's Sophie Morris got in her locker? A very nice ball indeed. Again, she's gone for that sweep shot. They're still ahead of the run rate though. 14 to win off 15.
These last couple of hours have really demonstrated the beauty of sport, haven't they? In the sense of, you know, a side getting bowled out for 46, you wouldn't have given them a prayer of chasing down 88 on the back of that. But they're doing it with quite a lot of confidence.
Yeah, definitely. So as I said, I was saying to Polly earlier when you were having a break that I think a lot depended on this opening pair getting a few, and they did. As the LBW appeal was turned down by the umpire quite stringently. So they've taken a little leg by there, I feel. Watch again. Ooh, whether it was toe first or edge of bat first, hard to tell, but anyway, it's 1 to the total. 13 off 13. In the context of the game, this has been a really good over from Sophie Morris. Kept Lancashire in the game, really. Oh, cheeky. No run. Yeah, very good over. Very good over. I mean, there was 1 4 and a single. And 4 was unlucky, really. Went through a fielder. So 13 to win off 12. 2 overs left.
We've seen over the course of these 3 streaming days across the men's and the women's tour, really impressive performances from 2 young up-and-coming Lancashire left-arm spinners. One, Charlie Barnard for the men, and 2, Sophie Morris for the women. They've both been absolutely exceptional and shown that they've got real big future capabilities of of performing and impacting Lancashire's 2025 summer.
We apologise for the slight delay in the pictures coming through. It gives us a chance to eulogise about young Sophie for a bit longer, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, she's just shown real kind of control, and yeah, that's the one thing you want, isn't it? First of all, if you can show that control, you can then build on the variations and things like that. And
I think it's the calmness that impresses me more than anything. I think as a bowler, as a spin bowler in particular, I think that if you're in a tense situation, it's very difficult as a bowler, as a spin bowler, to keep the control, to keep the motion going, because everything's slowed down, isn't it? Fast bowler, you steam in and you release the ball and it is what it is, but you've got to really take control of yourself as a spin bowler, and set yourself and block everything out and just focus on your action.
Yeah.
And to do that at such a young age, yes, it's a tour game. Yes, it's a friendly.
The pressure isn't there, is it? No.
But I've seen her do it out here in pressure situations in big games here as well. So, yeah, I mean, I couldn't be prouder. Fellow Wuralian and all that, I'm sure you're fed up of me saying this, but she plays for the local club near me. And I used to play hockey with their aunties.
Right, well.
And her aunties used to be dragged onto the cricket pitch unwillingly when my team at the time, Neston, was short and I was skipper in there and we could never get a full side out. Lisa, Susie, come and play for me.
Well, anyway, you can see by the strap line on the bottom that Lancashire have a wicket in the penultimate over. Phoebe Graham has struck.
Ah, the one we missed.
Yeah, I think it was caught at mid-off.
And it was the girl on 40. So
Dinesh departs, and the KSCA 11 need 12 to win off 11 balls.
That was a crucial wicket, wasn't it? And pleased for Phoebe Graham. She seems to have had a good tour, hasn't she? And yeah,
we can just see some kind of pictures in the studio, so we'll talk you through those. As a single, just squeezed out into the offside. So we're hoping that the pictures will be back with you fairly sharpish, but the KSCA 11 are 78 for 2. In the meantime, we shall just talk you through what we can see from here at Emirates Old Trafford. So a bit of radio commentary for the next few minutes or so.
Yeah, 11 runs remain to be got. 10 balls to get them in. Be interested to see Phoebe Graham's coming in for her 4th ball. She's going over the wicket. She bowled it slightly wider, very clever bowling. She saw the batter back away from the stumps and just put her line within those guidelines, but out of reach of the bat. That's experience for you. That's really good bowling from Phoebe Graham.
So we're back with you. We have pictures from Bengaluru, the Allure ground out there.
Oh, again, Graham. She saw her coming down the wicket that time, didn't she? And just pitched it a little bit slower. A bit shorter, I should say, not slower. But again, excellent bowling from Phoebe Graham.
And Karnataka need a boundary all of a sudden. From having the game in the palm of their hand, Phoebe Graham has been superb in this penultimate over, her 2nd, and she's wrestled things back in Lancashire's favour. Singles aren't going to cut it for the home side.
Yeah, I mean, in the context of the game, the last 2 overs from Sophie Morris and Phoebe Graham.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Which I suspected might be the case as we neared the end. They'd saved a couple of aces up their sleeve. But there's one thing having the bowlers who you know are capable of doing this sort of thing, and it's another thing them performing to this level. Graham, so clever in her bowling in this over. Last ball, per over, round the wicket to the left-hander. Oh,
High.
yeah, and it was going down leg a long way. You'd be doing very well to get an LBW going around the wicket as a right-hander to a left-hander there somehow.
Apart from that, it wasn't a bad shout.
No. Sometimes you shout just to stop them running, don't you? Let's be right. I think yeah, they did well to The batter actually ran 2 there by the time she'd ran around Phoebe Graham.
Or through Phoebe Graham, as it ended up being.
But it's 1 to the total. They really needed that run, actually. That could be crucial in this last over. And I'm interested to see who's going to be bowling it. At the moment it's saying it's Morris, but I can't see that if it's only 2 overs per bowler. But who knows, it might not have been 2 per over per bowler. It was perhaps an unwritten agreement between the guys, but conversation between a triumvirate of potential captains there.
The think tank.
Collins, they're not going to bowl Danielle Collins, are they? Wow. Interesting. I've never seen her bowl, have you?
No.
No, she's left-handed bat, but she bowls right-handed apparently.
From Bury, Danny Collins, and she had the. I think she scored a maiden 50 in for Lancashire in county cricket at Totting St John's in Bury.
Your head for statistics is better than mine.
Pretty sure that's the case.
So Hannah Jones must not be on the field because I can't believe they would not use her in this scenario. Come on, Collins. Seam up, right-handed, got that bit right, round the wicket, a bit wider, bit of height. Oh, I thought that had gone straight to the fielder, but it's gone for 4. Backward of point. And now it's very much game on, 5 and 5. 5 to win, 5 balls left. Could have gone anywhere, that one though, to be fair. For one moment I did think it was going to go straight into the fielder's hands. A dream start for Collins. But who knew he'd have this excitement in the last over of the T20? It's great.
It's been a really good game of cricket, hasn't it, this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Again, and she's pulled that one. Where's that gone? Again, it's into space. Are they going to push for 2? No, just the 1. 4 off 4. They can do it in singles.
Yeah, September 2015, Danielle Collins, aged 15, played for Lancashire in a 20-over friendly against the Army at Bury. She opened the batting and scored 46. It was her debut.
Against all of the Army, that's some going.
Against the Army, yeah. Fair effort, that, isn't it?
Hey? What was it, Salvation Army? Right, Collins, what have you got? Full. Oh, nearly yorked. That was a great ball in the context of the match.
She's got a really nice action, hasn't she? With a smooth run up.
And she must be nervous. Well done. That's kept the game alive. 3 off 3.
These are the great things that pre-season cricket can bring. If she pulls this one out of the fire, you just never know what that can bring in the summer months when competitive action comes around, gives Ellie Threlkeld knowledge that she can turn to this performer if required.
Again, the triumvirate having a conversation. Eve Jones must be great as a captain to have on your side with her experience and her brain for cricket.
Well, I heard you and Polly talking earlier on, and I don't think you were 100% sure whether Ellie was actually on the field and going through the runners and riders for captains, really. And I was thinking it just demonstrated the names that you were throwing out, and there was a couple more that I was thinking about as well. It just shows how much experience there is in this Lancashire side.
Yeah.
You know, the likes of Fee Morris, Eve Jones, Danielle Collins herself has played plenty of cricket.
And of course, you've got Eccleston and Cross coming back, who,
Absolutely,
Cross has captained numerous times.
So yeah, there's a real good mix.
Exactly, literally grabbed the word out of my mouth, because I was about to say, as well as that experience, you've got these young players coming through, Morris and Smale's still only a youngster. This is the exciting thing. We've got these great players coming through. Mahika Gore coming through. That's very nicely, but
cool.
Good
Could have been a run out.
What a great piece of bowling is that. Cool head on this young lady's shoulders. 3 to win.
We could have a super over, yeah.
Yeah.
What happens in a T10 game? Is it a super over in a T10 game? I'm not 100% sure.
Who knows? Hopefully it won't come. Well, hopefully it does come to that. A bit more excitement. I've just heard it in my ear that no, there's no super over involved. Collins in. She's moved across her crease. She's taken the aerial route. Has she got it? Into space. Into that bullet arm of Fee Morris.
So the scores are level.
1 to win. Is there any point having anyone on the boundary at this point?
Well, for that kind of scenario.
For a catch.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you've got to work out where. I guess the most likely hoik.
It's got to be cow corner, isn't it?
Yeah, you would think so. And now I think Eve Jones is saying there, do we want somebody right by the stumps to get to the bowler's end in case the run is taken? Yeah, absolutely.
I'd always have a tap and run in. I'd have one on either side of the wicket myself.
Attacking captain, you sound like.
I'd rather go down fighting than have somebody tap and run and win a match.
Sophie Morris is
saying that as well, isn't she? Because there's no point having one on the offside if they're just going to dab it on the other side, is there? You can always trip them up as they're trying to take the run if you've got people close to you. I'm joking, I never did that.
Your shoelaces are undone.
Yeah. Whoops. Sophie Morris has been moved to the other side of the wicket there. I think they've taken somebody on the offside to the. Yeah, look at that. There you go. There's one in. 1, 2, 3. Yes. Yeah. See, there's 2 in on one on either side there on the off. So one on the off and one on the on. Moved around. Oh, there you go. That's that catching position, and they've won. That's so gratifying for the home side. That's set it up beautifully for the next game. Look how thrilled they are. But fair play to Danielle Collins. She really did bowl excellent over there under pressure.
Far better than those figures suggest, actually.
Yeah.
0 for 12, 1 over, and it doesn't reflect the quality of the over that she's bowled, actually.
I mean, that last 4 is because the fielders were all in, wasn't it? Let's be right.
Absolutely.
But there you go. That's what we wanted. That's what we've got. Set up for an excellent third game.
Well, I don't think anybody would have seen that coming after Karnataka were bowled out for 45 in the first T20 this morning, which started at 9 a.m. local time, 3:30 here back in the UK, and Lancashire won by 9 wickets. The game lasted just less than 16 overs, and for that reason, the management decided that a T10 game would be played to bridge the gap between the 2 T20s, and Karnataka have won. They've won by 8 wickets off the last ball of the match, chasing down that target of 89. Gowda with 12 off 7 balls, contributing to a strong opening partnership, and still think that Lancashire have contributed there, and there'll be plenty of positives. The likes of Alice Clark performed with the bat, as did Eve Jones. They put on a half-century stand. That's really encouraging.
Definitely, but I still think that if they can get that opening pair broken early in this next game, I've got a sense that we could still do what we did in the first T20, to be honest with you, and run through the batting. I didn't sense the same strength in depth that perhaps the Lancashire girls have got. Having said that, take nothing away from Dinner, she played a really cracking innings and set up the game brilliantly, didn't she?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to see what happens in this next game now, whether Lancashire decide to bat first in the second T20, which they didn't do obviously first time around. So yeah, that will be coming. We're not 100% sure yet on the timings. Initially, it was due to be 7:30. Having word in our ear that we think it's going to be an 8 a.m. start, which is 1:30 local time. So what are we now?
About 40 minutes.
Yeah, about 45 minutes from now, we will start the second T20 game, the third of the day in all. It's 1-1, decider.
Two things. Looking forward to Elsa Lister having a bat. Really, she's a big hitter. I want to see her play some of those shots, and I want to see Hannah Jones have a couple of overs, definitely. That silent assassin that she is. And we'll see what happens.
Well, we'll be back with you just before the 8 a.m. start. I think it's just enough time for the girls out there to have some lunch and get themselves sorted, and we shall be back with you here at Emirates Old Trafford just before 8 a.m.